When the opportunity comes for a great conversation, I pack the table up and take it on the road. Welcome to Walt's Kitchen Table, where I feature captivating stories from fascinating people. Went out to visit with Chuck, founder, owner, operator of Jersey Girl Brewery. Now, let me tell you, when I walked in this tap room, it's beautiful. And it's so warm and inviting. You just can't help feel the love of the seasons. And what they say is true, that a space is a reflection of its owner. Chuck and I had just a wonderful conversation that went on and on and on, and I eventually had to pull the plug because it could have probably been 6 hours long. A lot of things we talk about, Christmas. That's why I'm putting this out this time of year. Merry Christmas, everyone. Other things we talk about is his quest for knowledge, his passion for sports and being a coach, skating to school when he lived in Holland, dogs and cats, and all the shit that we got into as kids. Let's get to it. There and there. How about that?
Yeah, it sounds good.
There you go.
Yeah, it's working.
It's working. Oh my God! Holy shit! Oh wow!
Magic of technology, man.
I packed everything up and brought it out here, and it still works. Woo!
Nice.
Thanks for having me out, dude.
Dude, it's so good to see you.
It's been a long time, huh?
Too long.
Busy time.
Yeah. Seems like yesterday, though.
It does.
Something about you. If when I see you, it's like I just finished seeing you.
Oh, thanks, man.
You know what I mean? You
Yep.
have one of those faces. It's just friendly, comforting. Remember we? I think the last time we were together was actually at the football field. We went to pull the helmets.
Yeah, for Play for Your Freedom.
Yep.
Yep.
That was the last time I think I saw you.
No shit. What?
I think it was. That's got to go back. That's at least. So my son's been out of that football program. He's a junior in high school now. So it's at least 2.5 years. 2 years at least.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
That was a long time because you've been here. Well, let's, for reference,
Okay.
give me a name and this amazing tap room that we're sitting in. Dude, it's amazing.
Oh, thanks, man.
I felt so like I walk. It's always been that way. Every time I walk in, it's like, oh man, this is amazing.
Yeah.
But it looks great in here.
Thanks, man. It's part of the vibe. So you're at Jersey Girl Brewing, and I'm glad you're able to come out.
So town and state.
Oh yeah.
Well,
we're
Jersey,
Mount
obviously.
Olive. Yeah. Jersey Girl. We're in Mount Olive, New Jersey. We're on the Bud Lake side of Mount Olive. So there's Flanders and there's Bud Lake.
Yep.
So we're on the Bud Lake side, Sand Shore Road. We're in a little industrial complex over here, which when we moved in, all this building, the building next to me was abandoned, just empty. I don't think they'd had a tenant probably 3 or 4 years. And we moved in, and as soon as we moved in, it was like the place started just popping.
Filling up.
The building next door got bought by my good friends over at AVD. The rest of this building, there's 2 other units, so it's 30,000, 10,000 foot units, rented out almost immediately. The building next door was a steel frame. So it was it was literally for, I think it was like 12 years.
On the outside, it looked finished, but inside, it was just nothing.
There was no skin on the building.
Oh,
it
shit.
It was the steel girders. It had been sitting like that for 12, 13 years, something like that. 6 months after we moved in, somebody bought the property, finished it. It's all rented out now.
Damn. So you're just magnetic, dude.
I don't know what it is. I think it's a nice revitalization because we were in an area when we opened up here. I was a little bit concerned. Nobody really comes back here. Nobody works back here. You know, we're off 46 a little bit. We're kind of off the beat.
Yeah, not like you have a storefront.
No,
you know.
No.
But isn't that the kind of the vibe of a microbrew? You're in the microbrewery space, right?
We're in the microbrew category. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Isn't that the kind of vibe though of that type of business to where you're kind of hidden away and it's like a.
It depends where you are in. This is the cool part. So over the last couple of years, microbreweries have become a revitalization engine for downtowns, right? So So we're here in an industrial complex, which is typically what people think of a brewery. You're out in the middle of the
A CrossFit and a brewery, right?
right, right next door to each other,
Yeah, exactly.
and then nothing else for miles.
Right,
But-
right.
So we're out
Oh,
here
wait a minute, in a coffee place.
a coffee shop. Yeah, there's going to
coffee
be a
shop.
coffee shop somewhere,
Yep.
and then a box warehouse. All they do is have boxes in there and stuff. Just
Yep,
warehouse space. But what's happening now is breweries are opening in downtown retail spaces, right? And they're
Okay.
what used to be a little bit of a dead area in town. Now suddenly people are going to the brewery. Then they're going to restaurants and they're going to eat and they're shopping and they're revitalizing that downtown experience all up and down New Jersey, across the United States. These
Yeah.
towns that are struggling, like who does? When I was a kid, we did the downtown shopping thing. I grew up in Morris Plains, so I went to the borough school right on Speedwell Avenue. I would walk from home to school every day. I'd pass the downtown area,
Yep.
pop in a couple of shops, get some candy or something like that. Walk to school, walk home, pop in a store to warm up in the wintertime before I finished the last, mile or so of walking uphill both ways. So it was, that downtown. But then other than things like Morris Plains, probably Chester's another one that's really doing well.
Yeah, I know that.
You don't
yeah.
get a lot of them. A lot of the downtowns are struggling.
Well, I lived in Colorado Springs for a long time,
Nice.
and I left in 13, but in the early 2000s, like there was a microbrewery came in,
Okay.
and everybody's like, "What the hell is that? Whatever that is, And then now, if you go there, there's 14 of them.
So I was just in Colorado last month for it's the Great American Beer Festival. They do it.
Where at?
We were downtown Colorado.
Colorado Springs, Boulder,
No.
Fort Collins.
Oh my gosh, why am I drawing a blank right now?
Wouldn't be Denver, would it?
Denver.
Really?
No.
They had it. No, they would have it in some kind of.
I can't even believe I can't remember the
Whoa.
city name. I can't believe this right
Wasn't
now.
Pueblo?
No.
God, you'd know if you were in Pueblo, Colorado.
Oh, my God. I can't believe I'm blowing this right now. Anyway, I was down at the Great American Beer Festival, and it was 143 breweries or something like that in the city.
Okay, so have a business in the city, not there like you are.
Business in the city.
Had
Like
140 of them.
yeah, across the city.
That's got to be Denver.
Denver.
I can't.
It had to be Denver. Now
I
you're
can't
making
see-
me- It is Denver. It's
Yeah,
Denver, Colorado.
for 140,
yeah,
I
it
can't
was
see.
Denver. It was Denver. Yeah. Now, yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry.
That's all right.
And I even took a drive. I took a drive off and went over to Pikes Peak.
Oh yeah.
I had to get out of the city for a little bit.
Pikes Peak or bust.
Oh my God, it was awesome. It was 14,000 feet up to the top of the mountain.
Did you go to the top?
Yeah, I went to the top.
Drove?
Drove. Yeah,
Yeah.
drove.
You didn't
I
hike?
grabbed one of my guys. Yeah, I'm not hiking up 14,000. Although there were people riding their bikes up the side of the mountain.
Yeah.
They were riding their bikes up the mountain. And
Yeah.
I thought that was pretty cool. I thought that was.
And then they come hauling ass down.
I can only imagine how fast they must have been going.
They're fucking-
And the thing is, there's no guardrails on the side, so it's one of those movie scenes where there's just a cliff, and the guy goes off the edge of the cliff and until
Yeah,
he
yeah.
disappears in the fog, at the bottom somewhere.
Yeah, I went up there because when I lived there, everybody that come out to visit, like, oh, we gotta go to Top Mountain, which is great. It's an amazing. It's beautiful.
It's gorgeous. The view up there is amazing.
Yeah, but after a while, I'm like, go ahead, man. I'll be
I'll wait
Manitou.
here.
Yeah, I'll wait here.
Get back.
I don't need to see that.
We got to the top of the mountain. We didn't even get so. Truth be told, I went with Bobby, one of my guys here, and went to there's a plateau right before you get to the very top of the mountain. So there's a plateau.
Yep.
And then they drive you the rest of the way to the top. You can't. They wouldn't let us drive the rest of the way.
Snow or
Wind.
wind?
It was like 70 degrees at the bottom of the mountain. It was 20 degrees at 13,000 feet. I think we got to 13.5, and the wind must have been blowing 50 miles an hour. It felt like it was 10 below zero. It was so cold. All the they had tents set up for people, to wait under in case it rained. Were blowing everywhere. The Johnny toilets, the little plastic, were blowing across. I got out of the car. I couldn't even open the car door. The wind was blowing so hard against the car door. So Bobby had opened up his side. Right, he's on the downwind side, so he just easily kind of throws it open and looks at me like, "What's the problem?" I'm sitting here pushing on this damn door trying to get it open. I finally get it open, and it's like a wind tunnel through the car. Anything that wasn't secured in the car at that moment went right out the passenger door and off the side of the mountain. Just went right out.
Well, see,
amazing.
There's a saying that the best kept secret in Colorado Springs is the weather. And that mountain being right there is part of the reason the weather is so good.
How's that?
Stops everything from coming over. If you live on the west side of the mountain, you get crazy amount of snow and crazy weather. If you live on the east side of the mountain, where Colorado Springs, Manitou Spring is, the weather's like.
So you were down there at the bottom of the mountain. You were
I
right
live there. I lived there for 20 years.
That's where it is. Okay.
Yep.
Gotcha.
When I left in 2013, in 2012, there was like 310 days of sunshine.
What happened the other days?
A little bit of clouds.
A little bit of clouds.
You didn't even pay attention to the weather report.
So it must have been just gorgeous out
all the time, every day.
Wow. That's a great way to live.
It's boring to me.
Is it really?
I like the seasons.
That's what you get in New Jersey, right? We were just talking about this the other night here at the brewery. We were talking about when you live in New Jersey, you had better expect that there's going to be 4 seasons
every day.
They're gonna hit you. Like you go immediately from fall to winter.
Yep.
You go from winter to spring, spring to summer, summer back into it again.
Yep.
And it drives me crazy when people go, "Oh my God, it's snowing, it's cold outside, it's too hot outside."
I was just going to say, and then in the summer they're, it's so fucking hot. And I'm like, seriously? Come on, man.
You live in New Jersey, you're getting 4 seasons. You moved to New Jersey for 4 seasons. You live here and you're not leaving for 4 seasons. But you got everything in New Jersey. What don't you have in New Jersey? Think about it, right? You've got, if you want a city vibe, you go to New York City or Philadelphia.
Absolutely. Yep.
If you want a beach scene,
boom, shore.
Jersey Shore. You want to go skiing, boom. You want to go camping, boom. You want to go hiking, biking, whatever you want to do.
See, my wife and I talk about this all the time. And real quick, before I forget, so she knows I'm here talking to you, right?
All right.
She's a professional belly dancer.
Okay.
So she's got this gig tonight. So on the way over here, I text her, good luck, have fun at the gig.
Nice.
So her text to me, good, ! Thanks, smiley face. Have a great time at the brewery with Chuck. Bring me some beer, husband.
So you're a mule now. We call you a mule.
Oh, absolutely. I've been a Sherpa my whole marriage, dude. I don't mind that, man. My job is to carry heavy things, open jars, and get things high up on the shelf. And I'm
pick
comfortable.
Things up, you put them down. You reach up high, you bring them low.
That's it, and I'm completely comfortable with that.
That's all right.
Yeah.
It's not a bad.
No, it's not a complaint.
No,
but what were we talking about? Weather.
No,
weather.
Oh yeah, we were into weather. Yeah, we were talking about the mountains. We were talking about Colorado.
Yeah,
talking about 4 seasons.
The thing is, with living, and the good thing about living in Jersey. So my wife and I talk about this all the time. Mm-hmm. We live in Montclair.
Okay. Nice area. I like that.
Thanks. Oh, yeah. we love it there.
Yeah.
It's amazing. We live in the 2nd floor of a really nice apartment building.
Okay.
When people come over, we have a corner apartment. When people come over, they're like, it's like you live in a tree house. Because all the corner is all trees because it's the boundary of the property.
Oh, so your windows look out on the trees?
Trees.
Oh,
right?
That's cool.
And then the one side of the window looks at the pool in the back. Right? But I said, man, we can go out our driveway. Within 30 minutes, we're in the city. Within 45 minutes, on a good day, I'm at the shore. Mm-hmm. Within 40 minutes, we're in the mountains. What the hell else do you need?
Yeah,
and
I agree.
Yeah, and in Montclair, within I could throw a baseball to the main street, Bloomfield Ave. Mm-hmm. Got every single restaurant you could ever imagine down there.
I don't think people appreciate if you don't live in New Jersey and you don't get 4 seasons, how much you'll miss having 4 seasons.
Yeah,
Christmas. It's just not the same without a little bit of bite in the air. It doesn't even have to be a white Christmas, but just a little bit of chill in the air. It changes everything, Christmas, when it's 80 degrees outside, just
that doesn't seem the same.
Doesn't feel right.
Yeah, I went to the gym this morning. Of course, it's dark.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
And we have that snowstorm. So I'm coming through my neighborhood. All the trees are covered in snow. Mm-hmm. And there's 3 or 4 houses with Christmas lights already on, like in the windows or on the fence. Dude, it was like, it warms your heart to see that.
It does, right?
It was amazing.
But so my wife got this thing. She's very excited about it, and I'm still trying to get excited about it. But I'm getting there, right? It's one of these little LEDs you put in your front yard, and it sprays like green and red, and it moves.
You a fan of that?
You know what? I'm a kind of a traditionalist, right? So
Okay.
I like the candle in the window.
Oh, okay. I'm a fan of that.
That's all. You don't have to put a little wreath on your front door.
Yep.
Candles in the windows. You're done. That's Christmas for me.
I like the old-fashioned big bulbs that get so hot you could only have them on for so long.
You got to wet your fingers to turn them on.
But like a simple string across your fence.
Yeah.
Not this like gaudy. I mean, people just go crazy.
I
with
tell you,
these
there's some
decorations.
houses you drive by and you go, wow, I hope they got all that on discount, because
I hope they
it's
bought that
probably
last
like
year.
$1,000 worth of crap
Right.
laying all over their yard. And
Yeah.
you know what? I don't judge people for how they want to celebrate. You know, if that's how they want to do it, that's
Awesome.
cool. I'm a
Awesome.
traditionalist. Like
Yeah.
the other night, Sunday night, I was at home. We put up the tree. The two boys, my wife and I, the dog, all sat, put Christmas music on, decorated the tree together. You know what?
Awesome.
A couple of years, my kids are going to move out of the house. They're going to go to college. They're going to be doing their thing. You know, you got to do these things while you can, because eventually you get to the point where you can't, right?
Right,
They're
right,
going
right.
to have their life. I'm not going to be one of those dads that's like, hey, you got to come over to my place for Christmas and drop everything you're doing with your.
Nah, they're going to have their own life. They're going to have their own family.
I think that's important, right? That's why I do what I do as a dad, right? You want to raise them so they go make their own memories, right? You don't need to live through my memories all the time.
Right.
Go do your
make-
own thing.
Right.
Make your
So
own.
like one of the things I use on this podcast, like through social media and stuff,
Right.
is stories are a moral compass. So with you guys doing that, that's a compass for them to be like, hey, that was cool, but I'm going to do this to add my own flair to it. So
Yeah.
now they're making their own memories and,
Yep.
you know. So go back on that, traditions. What kind of Christmas music?
Yeah, I like the older songs.
Like-
I'm an old 50s, 60s kind
Oh,
of,
like-
I'm dreaming. You know, the old Bing,
like,
you know.
oh,
Like,
Bing Crosby. That's what I was thinking of. You like that?
Yeah, I do. I think there's something about that kind of music that, like, I was going through and trying to pick a station, right? I was trying to get some Christmas music, and one of the new stations, New Christmas Music or something. I don't remember the exact name of it, but it was Christmas from music from within like the last decade.
Okay.
I couldn't listen to it. I tried. I put it
like
on.
too poppy or
It was too
something?
poppy. It's too commercial. It's too. It's like rapping Christmas
Yeah.
and rocking Christmas, and it just seemed a little forced. Something about traditional Christmas music is it's not trying to be anything other than
What it is.
a nice Christmas song. Something that makes you remember a moment, right? I can hear Rudolph, right? I can hear Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, and I can immediately think of 3-4 different points in life where I heard that song. And I was, growing up as a kid, had my own kids, was with my wife in our first Christmas before we had kids. There's just something about those songs that they're there for your lifetime, right? They're
Yeah.
not there for a moment. And then you kind of forget them, right? As soon as Christmas is over,
Until after Thanksgiving, you hear it and you're like, oh,
boom,
and
it's
it
right
warms
back.
your heart, right?
And then you're right back into it
Yeah,
again. You're
love
like,
it.
It's just, I think that's the important part about having seasons, right? You need to have those moments. That first summer where you go outside and put suntan lotion on,
right.
that smell of the coconut or whatever it is,
Yeah,
in the
yep.
lotion,
Well,
it
that-
immediately reminds you it is summertime.
And fall's the same way when the smell of basically decay, right? That fresh smell
Yep.
of, it's just amazing. That's why I love
Springtime, it's fresh cut grass.
Oh, I love a good
Nothing
fresh
like
grass.
nothing like when the
Oh.
grass is like 6 inches tall and you go out and you cut it for the first time and you just that
Smell.
aroma, that
Oh,
smell.
It's amazing.
Yeah. So that's like, it's the same thing with Christmas music for me. There's all those different things trigger memories or trigger the thought of happiness. They trigger, wow, what a great memory or what a great moment, or I'm going to remember this because of
Right,
that.
right.
I think that's what's great about Christmas and 4 seasons throughout the year. it brings everything together. I think if it's hot all the time, it's just a very linear.
Well, see, that's what when I tell people about the weather in Colorado Springs, they're like, "Oh my God, that would be so amazing." That would be. I'm like, yeah, but try it for a long time.
Sure.
It just kind of goes stale on you.
Yeah.
You know. Back to Christmas though, real tree or fake tree?
So, yeah,
Both, because you tried a real
we used
tree.
we used to be a both, right? We would go out and pick a tree or cut a tree down, bring it in. We have kind of a
Hey,
foyer.
real quick, do me a favor. Look, turn it so you're speaking right into it. There
Oh
you
yeah,
go.
there you go.
Yeah, that's better.
Is that better?
Yeah, you
Oh,
can
it
back
sounds-
up a little bit.
It even
but-
sounds better right there.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
So we would go and cut trees down, and we would do 2 trees in the house. The family room would have a fake tree, and that was the tree that was by the fireplace. It got all the gifts. It got all the presents. It got
Okay.
everything, right? So we put that. We had that. Then in our foyer, we had like this double door little area in the house where you first walk in. We put a real tree there, and it would be the wide tree, the chubby tree, and we'd put all the decorations and the train around it. Open the door up, and that would be the one for the neighborhood, right? Because where our house is, when you pull into the neighborhood, you look right at our house.
Oh, I see. What you
So
mean.
it'd be a
Okay.
nice way, with the lights in the windows.
Yep. The
Wreath
kind
on
of
the door.
traditional.
Yeah, and
Looking
then
tree.
right in the front doors, you'd see this big tree.
Oh,
But
okay.
it wasn't functional. Now, part of the reason we don't do it anymore is one Christmas I was going from downstairs to upstairs, and it was dark in the house. I didn't have the lights on in the house, and I came around the corner and went square into the side of the tree, full blast, like I'm going to bed mode. Right, I'm
Yeah.
parading.
On a mission.
I'm on a mission to go to bed. I went right into the side of the Christmas tree, the real tree, big tree. And I went so hard into it, and I couldn't maintain my balance. I grabbed the tree, and I fell backwards. And
Is it like right out of a movie?
dude,
where
I
it's-
took the whole tree down with me, and it was probably 1:00 in the morning, right? I was just ready to go. I pulled this whole tree down on top of me. All the ornaments were glass, and you could just and the water's pouring out of the bottom of the thing. The train underneath, I crushed it like Godzilla. And so here I am, 1:00 in the morning. I'm laying with this giant tree on top of me, and nobody comes to my rescue in the house.
like all that noise and nobody came down.
Nobody woke up. Nobody woke up. They're all sleeping upstairs. So I crawl out from underneath this tree, stand this darn thing back up, like sweep up the floor.
Are y'all like pissed and like doing it all angry?
I was completely pissed. I was like
Yeah, yeah.
shoving it back up. I was like, so cleaned up my mess, went to bed. I'm next morning I'm in bed. My wife comes up, Chuck, what the hell happened downstairs? And so I proceeded to tell her the story. I didn't realize how obvious it was. But when you went back downstairs, like the whole side of the tree, like all the ornaments were ripped off, the garland, everything. It obviously looked like it fell on top. Of me.
Yeah.
It was
So
it was a
no more
fucking
tree
mess.
after that or what?
Yeah, that was kind of one of the last years we did the tree up front. Because
Yeah.
when I go to bed at night, I just want to make a beeline for the bed.
Yeah, I'm the same way. When I'm
So-
ready for bed, I'm.
And it's maintenance too. Eventually I got to drag this thing out of my house. And it's just I'm
clean
dragging
it
it to the curb, and it's leaving a trail of needles all the way through the house, all the way out to the front of the house. I'm like,
Yeah, we did
of work.
we did a real tree one year,
Mm-hmm.
and I was like, no, and we got 2 cats. So
do you have 2 cats?
Yeah, and I was like, no, we're not.
Do you have the
doing-
big furry cats, or do you have the short hair cats?
They're it's a regular cat. They're nothing.
I had cats in college.
Yeah.
I don't know how I wound up with 2 cats. I had 2 cats. I named them after my pledge class, Alpha and Iota. One was, they were both black and white cats, both from the same litter. One had really short hair. The other had like the Persian, like really fluffy hair. And they were great cats. And then I had them for a bunch of years when I was in college, and then gave them to somebody after college, and now they're their cats. But
We have
that was the only time I ever owned cats.
So the fun. I've always had cats. I'm a dog guy, but
I was going to ask you, do you like dogs too, or are you just a cat
No,
guy?
I'm a dog guy, but my lifestyle throughout the years, I like having an animal in the house. It just kind of warms it up a little bit,
Yeah, sure.
right?
I agree.
And I was dating this girl out in Colorado, and her son worked at Kmart. So he'd come home one day, and he's got this kitten.
All right.
And he's like, "Oh, can we keep it?" And I'm like, "All right." So as it starts to grow up, and it's like 8 weeks old, so it's a little tiny,
Oh, so it's a little. I mean, you had
like,
really
it
a
would
little
fit,
kitten.
It would fit in your palm of your
that's
hand,
cute.
right?
Yeah.
So the weird part of it is growing up, it starts to grow, and its head would be like really big, and his body would be like really small, like straight up cartoonish.
Yeah,
And I'm like, something's fucking wrong with this cat. And then all of a sudden, his body would be huge and his head would be small.
Okay.
Again, like extreme cartoonish. I'm like,
Something's wrong with this cat.
I'm not. Yeah, I grew up like farming and stuff. And,
Yeah. Okay.
And you don't take animals to the vet.
Right. Okay.
You get them from a pound. You make sure they have their shots to start.
Sure.
And that's it. If something happens to it, you get another one from the pound. You know.
Throw it out, get a new one.
Well, if it,
So to speak.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
get you. I'm with you.
so I'm like, guys, let's just see what happens. Let's take it to the vet. You got it from a person in the parking lot.
Yep.
So
Yep.
let's at least get it shots.
Yep.
Right? Get it neutered, of course. So I take it, and the lady's like, I got an idea. The vet, she's like, I got an idea, but I'm going to draw some blood just to make sure. And I was like, all right, okay. Here's shots, set it up to get it neutered, do it all thing, right?
Yeah.
So a couple weeks later, she calls, and she's like, so what you have is a Maine Coon.
Oh, what?
Yeah, and that's what I was. And I go, "You're talking about my cat? What are we talking about?" She goes, "It's obviously, it's a breed. They're known to get really big."
Oh.
And she goes,
Okay.
"You basically have it's about 90% Maine Coon." I was like, "All right, okay." She goes, "Just be prepared. Probably read some books on it. Maine Coons they're different." I was like,
Okay.
"Okay." I was like, that's kind of scary. So let's go read a book. Let's get a book. So basically, they get 20 pounds, 25 pounds.
Sure.
I have a male cat. At his peak, he was 29 pounds.
Okay.
Big. So, like, you know how they walk around their tail straight up in the air?
Yeah.
The top of his tail would be higher than my belt.
What?
That's how big he was.
That's
He
a
was
that's a
huge.
cougar.
Yeah. He was huge, right? And
Did it look like a
just looked like a-
wild cat?
no, it just looked like a regular
like
cat.
a mountain cat or anything like
Nope,
that?
just looked like a regular cat.
Just really big.
Just huge.
Just
And he
huge.
wasn't fat,
Okay.
right?
Yeah.
So, of course, he's an indoor-outdoor
Because that's
cat.
what I think. As soon as you say like 29, 30
You
pounds,
think it's a big fat
I'm thinking
thing
it's a big
sitting there.
fat cat with little short legs that can't hardly move
No,
around.
he was just big.
Okay.
His head was huge. And part of a Maine Coon, they like to, their affection, to show affection,
right.
they headbutt you and then rub their glands, where their whiskers meet. They rub it on your face.
Okay.
Well, how big this thing is, when he headbutts you, that's like your 5-year-old son headbutting you. I was like, it got to the point you're just like, okay, here it comes, and you kind of brace it, and you're like, okay. But you can't turn him away. That's what he.
But
him
that's
showing-
how cats show their affection, right?
Right.
That's how they show that they love you. They want you to pet them, whatever it is.
Yeah. So
They start
take your
purring.
take your average cat of what, 12 pounds.
Yeah.
Make his head 3 times that big and have him headbutt you. Right? But lovingly. It's not anger.
There's
anger.
not a lot of meat on their head. I mean,
No.
it's like pure skull.
Right.
Skull and a little thin layer of
You
skin.
could hear it clunk. But I tell you what, man, it was I love that cat. He was awesome. And I stopped dating a girl, and I keep the cat because he became my cat.
Yeah, sure.
Right? And the apartment building I was in, it was in a shitty apartment building.
Okay.
And there was a space under the door. So it was like one of those apartment buildings. You'd walk in, and he has a 4A. It was a fourplex,
Yeah,
right?
okay.
So it had the hallway and stuff. And there was a space under the door. So I'd bring girls home, and I'd go, hey, man, watch this. And I'd scratch the bottom of the door,
No way.
and this fucking hairy leg would fly out, and this big claw, and they would literally jump back. And I'm like,
yeah.
what the hell is
What the
that?
hell is that?
I'm like, oh, just my cat.
Just my cat.
Just my cat. She's like, that's not a cat.
That's a lion.
And he, of course, he ran the neighborhood, and everybody knew it was my cat. And,
That's cool.
And the neighborhood kids, he'd like lay out on the sidewalk in the summer. Neighborhood kids would come over and pet him, and he'd love on him. And,
I'm imagining like one of these pictures of like an African cat. Your cat's up in the tree on the big limb, laying there, with all wagging his tail.
Yeah,
with his feet. That's what I'm imagining right now.
Now that's funny you say that, because I had an office chair
Okay.
with a big back on it, and he would just
perch.
plop on that,
Just perch
and
it.
all four legs would just be hanging down, two on one side, two on the other. He was just such a.
That's what's good about cats. I really enjoyed having cats. I couldn't imagine having a cat full time. I think it's just cats have an attitude, right? Cats.
We're there for them,
right? Yeah. They're not there for you. They give you love when they decide it's okay that they want to be loved, right? It's
now
it's a cat temperament, I think.
Well, I'll bring you so when my wife and I decided to have cats,
Okay,
right? I said, so what we're going to do, we'll go to the pound, and we ended up on. We didn't plan it this way, but it was one of those clear the shelter days.
Oh yeah, sure.
Where they just give you,
please take this animal,
take
please.
everything,
Yeah.
And I said, but you have to understand that they're not ever going to go to the vet.
Mm-hmm.
If they become really sick, you're going to go, and I know my comments on this be a dumpster fire, but if it's really sick, you're going to go to work one day. Because she goes, what happens if it becomes really sick? I said, you're going to go to work one day, and you're going to come home, and there won't be no cat.
Yeah.
And she's like, kind of looks at me. I'm like, as long as the ground rules are here.
If the animal's sick, so I had a Cocker Spaniel when I was growing up, pure breed Cocker Spaniel, beautiful dog, buff, had that, traditional long floppy ears,
Yep.
the beautiful kind of tan fur with a little bit of white in it, beautiful dog. A couple of years into it, dog had a stroke. I came home one day, dog had stroked out. I was early high school. I'm just kind of thinking back. It was early high school, so probably my sophomore year. And fell in love with this animal. Just this dog had been there for a bunch of years, loved, but stroked out, couldn't see anything anymore. And when he ran around, would bump into the walls, and dog was freaking out. Dog was freaking out. Come home, big cuts in his head, because he didn't know how to live without sight. The stroke had made him blind. So you can only live with an animal like that for so long. And then you go, this is inhumane. I mean, it's painful to do, but it's the right thing to do. You can't let an animal who's sick, and far too often I watch people with really sick animals, they don't want to let go.
Well,
right?
Now it's selfish.
It's selfish is a word for it, but I don't know if it's selfish or it's the same thing with people. Same thing with people. Somebody in your family, your grandmother, your grandfather's died. They're elderly. They're not in good health. They're fighting something, and they wanna move on, but you don't want to let go. So let's take them to the doctor, pump them full of medicine. Don't put them on life support. Keep them around. You're really not. You're not keeping any. You're trying to hold on to the memory. I get it.
I just went through that.
Okay.
And my mom passed away.
Okay.
And
I'm sorry.
No, thanks.
You know that.
And she had some requests, and she's like, "This is what I want." And there were some people in our family that was like, "No way." And I was like, "Well, that's what she wants. What are you going to do?" Using my mom for an example, like you were just saying, what are you going to do? Basically torture her for what, 3 months or something? So she's not living very well, but she's here. Right. No, she's not here.
She's not here.
So going back to like an animal, I have a good friend of mine that she has a dog she's had forever, loves it to death.
Sure.
Ended up with cancer, was debating whether to have the surgery or not.
Okay.
And she asked me, and I'm like, well, it depends. If it goes through the surgery and it's quality of life isn't there,
right.
I feel you would need to take a step to rectify that.
Yeah.
Just because you wanted around, right? She's like, she went through the surgery, got another like 2 years, but the dog was super healthy, ran around and all happy and all that, which is great, right? So you have both sides of that.
But it's so infrequent
Absolutely.
that you hear that result.
Absolutely.
You come home, the dog's
Just
a cat,
laying there.
whatever it is, just laying there all day.
Yeah.
You see the dog. You go see the dog, and the dog just like looks up at you like, please.
Yeah. I had
kill me.
I had a golden retriever when I was young,
Yeah.
and I didn't know anything about hip dysplasia, but I guess that's common in their breed,
Yeah.
where their hips are thin. I'm tossing a ball with it, and I'm bouncing it off this equipment trailer, and he'd jump on the trailer, jump off, grab the ball. So one time he jumps off the trailer, I hear him yelp, tumbles. I go over there, and he was a year and a half, maybe. And I take him to the vet, and they're like, hey, hip dysplasia. This is what it'll take to get him back walking again.
Okay.
And I go, okay, but what's that going to do to him? I mean, he's still a puppy. They're like, yeah, he won't walk properly. He can't run. I go, just put him down.
Yeah.
I'm not.
I'm a huge. So I love animals.
I'm a huge animal lover.
Huge. We do a bunch of dog adoption events here at the brewery. We do as much as we can to provide money for dogs. I think we've worked with 5 or 10 different adoption places to do yoga and raise money.
Yoga.
It is terrible to see dogs that are not in a good place, that aren't in a good, healthy situation, and we're trying to drag out life for them. Differently are dogs that are abused. Right?
That's
dogs that are abused from a previous owner. There's nothing wrong with them. They just have a few scars. That's a dog you need to take care of. That's a dog you need to save. That's a dog you need to rescue. And
well, that's why I always say I would never get an animal. I would never get an animal other than from the pound.
Yeah, we got our dog from a breeder. I mean, I think everybody's different on this,
Sure,
right?
Sure.
Because we had a particular. We wanted to get a beagle. We wanted to get a purebred beagle. I come from a different place. Okay, so you get these dogs. You don't know what their backgrounds. You don't know how they're bred. You don't know. The doctor says, yeah, well, the dog that had the seizure, Buff. They say it could have been part of a DNA thing of the previous mates breed or whatever it is. So it's one of those things. Like the kids were getting the dog. The kids made a decision they wanted a beagle. So we got him a beagle. We went and found. I think we drove 4 hours each way.
Artist.
4 hours each way to get this beagle. That dog is awesome, though. My dog
still have him.
Yeah, she. Hope.
Nice.
That's her
How
name.
old?
God, she's 4 now. 4,
nice.
Yeah. Probably going. Her birthday's in May, so I guess she'll be 5. She'll be 5 soon. And she's great. You know what? But she's like a cat. For me, she's more like a cat than a dog.
Was she a lap dog and?
No, she. If you lay next to her, you put your hand on her, she'll look up at you like, I didn't tell you to put your hand on me.
Don't touch me.
Don't touch me, dude. Who are you? And she'll get up and she'll go sit in another chair. But when she wants to play, she'll come and bark at you. She'll get on her front legs, she'll get down low and her ass is in the air, and she'll bark at you. And then she'll run around in circles.
Yeah.
And that's her way of showing that she's ready to play. So you play with her for a little while. She'll run, she'll fetch, she'll do whatever you want her to do. And then when she's done, I'm going to go sit on the sofa over here. Thanks for playing with me.
Yeah, I'm good. Thanks.
I'm
man.
good. Thanks, buddy.
I'll let you know when I'm ready again.
Exactly.
I rescued a border collie, and she was a red and white border collie. So imagine what a border collie looks like.
Sure.
But where they're
like
black.
It's like a Lassie dog, right? Is that a border collie?
No. It's the ones that you see, like herding cattle and sheep and stuff.
Okay.
That's a border.
That's a border collie.
Yeah.
Oh, so I'm thinking, what's Lassie then?
I think just a strip collie.
Just straight up collie.
Yeah.
Okay.
The second most intelligent dog,
Really?
a border collie.
Okay.
First is a full-grown poodle. They say that's the most intelligent breed of dog.
Why is that?
I don't know. They're fucking stuck up. I'm not a border. I'm not a.
My first dog was a
or
poodle. So I'm on my third dog in my lifetime, right? My first dog was a poodle, Charlie.
A full-grown poodle.
It was, I don't know, about yay big.
I see you
don't
with
know.
a teacup poodle.
No, God, no. It was one of these black curly hair poodle. I mean, it was, I don't know, about yay big.
But a full-grown poodle is.
No, God, no.
Their head would be like right here.
No.
That's a
This
full-grown.
this is probably about, about 20 inches long, maybe 15 inches high poodle,
Mini. I don't know what they call them.
like a medium poodle. I don't know.
Medium.
Poodle puddle.
Yeah, puddle. Yeah, I don't know.
It's a poodle
I don't
or a
know.
puddle. It's
But
a
the one
puddle.
I'm thinking is full-grown.
Those things are big. My friend has one of those.
You know what I'm
High
talking-
energy. Yeah.
Yeah.
The tall ones, right?
Yeah, and then the labradoodle.
Labradoodle. That's the one. Labradoodle. That's the one I know.
They bred it with a.
They're hypoallergenic dogs, so if you're allergic to dogs, you can actually have that dog.
Yep,
Is that
it's
the one you're talking about?
And it's a breed between a
Labrador and a poodle.
and a poodle.
Those are
Labrador.
big. Those are big dogs.
and I
Well,
had
this
a-
guy was really small. I mean, again, it was one of those things. We had the dog. Great dog. Loved Charlie. Moved to Europe. I lived in Europe for 3 years. Came back. We had to give Charlie to my aunt to raise. By the time I came back, the dog had passed. So
What the hell did you go to Europe for?
I lived in Holland for 3 years.
What?
As a kid? Yeah.
How old were you when you say as a kid?
So, God, I'm going to date myself now. 77 to 80.
So-
I lived in,
What made you go over there?
my dad.
Work?
Yeah. Yeah.
Did you like Holland?
He had gone to LSU to get his PhD, and then he got a job over there. We were in Leiden. We lived in Utrecht. Parents put me in a Dutch school for 3 years.
Can you still speak Dutch?
Just a little bit. Enough to get me in trouble at this point.
yeah.
Yeah.
Depending on how much
But
you've
it's
been
great.
drinking too,
What
right?
a great country. And it's probably the safest, cleanest country. And I've traveled the world. I've been lucky enough in my life to travel the world for company business and stuff like that. Seen a lot in my life. One of my favorite countries to go visit. As a kid, I was I think I was like 9 years old, and I could go anywhere, do anything. I mean, I could get on my bike and ride across town. In the wintertime, the roads would freeze. One of my favorite memories. The roads would freeze up, and I'd put my ice skates on. I'd skate to school, and then I'd have my shoes tied around my neck. I got to
No
school, took my
shit.
skates off, put my skates up, put my shoes on, go to school, come out, put my skates back on, hold on to the bumper of a car, get dragged down the street. And
How cool
in
is
the
that?
ice.
I used to
Oh,
do
it was-
that with like a.
It was awesome. It was
like
awesome.
hand built like skateboard basically, but
Yeah.
we build them out of scrap.
Just take
know.
some old roller skates, break the wheels off,
Oh, dude,
screw them to the bottom of a
You know what a bogey wheel is?
what?
A bogey wheel.
Hell no. What's a? Did you say bogey?
Bogey.
Like bogey, 9 o'clock. Boo! I'm
Yeah,
thinking
yeah,
like
yeah.
World War II fighters.
Yep, yep.
Bogey.
Snowmobile fan? Right?
I love snowmobiles. I don't know anything about them.
Okay.
I drove one once. And
Okay.
I'm trying to find another one because I'd love to ride one. It was great.
So growing up, we had snowmobiles
Okay.
my whole childhood.
Okay.
Always had dirt bikes and four-wheelers and snowmobiles
Sure.
and all that. So the suspension on a old, and I'm talking old snowmobile,
Okay.
like back from the
You're talking like the
70s.
front suspension or the back,
The back.
suspension?
It's under the track.
Under the tracks. Okay,
so if
gotcha.
you look under the track, there's a bunch of wheels.
It's like a tank.
It looks like a tank,
Looks
bunch
like
of
a
wheels
tank,
under
yeah.
there. So what we would do is we'd take, because where I grew up, there's scraps of old snowmobiles for all over the place. We would take those wheels
All right.
and bolt them on the bottom of board, just a 2x4.
Like right into the side of the board, just put a screw through it? Or
So
was
you-
there a harness? The wheels were like mounted on bearings and you
So on the wheels themselves have tubular stuff that's how they attach to the snowmobile.
Gotcha.
Okay? So we would take that, put a board flat, put that bogey wheel on it, take a nail, fold the nail over to hold the bogey wheel.
That would hold it. And you're like, safe, let's go downhill. Let's go
That's
find the
exactly-
steepest hill we can.
Absolutely. Absolutely. My mom would be like, oh my God, you're going to ride that thing? And I'm like, absolutely. So we would pile on this thing.
Oh, great.
And it was, the board with the bogey wheels are probably 5 inches tall.
Okay.
So the board would be, 2.5 inches off the ground.
Okay.
My buddy and I would sit on it, and I'd have a rickety kind of steering thing between my legs, and we put a board like a T shape in the front, and I put my feet up there and reach between my legs to steer it.
Oh my God.
And we get going 40, 45
Oh
miles.
yeah, you go fast. I can imagine this
Yeah.
thing's flying.
Yeah, 40, 45 miles an hour down the road. So then we're like, this sucks, like hauling this thing up the hill all the time.
Right.
Why don't we just pull it with the car? Of course, we're 14, 15
Here's your
years
mind.
old.
Here's your mind of a youth.
Yeah,
of a youthful
exactly.
child at work.
So now it's like,
What could happen?
yeah. So at first we're like, let's pull it up so we don't have to walk up the hill.
Right.
Then we're like, well, why don't we just get a big, long, flat thing, put a rope behind the car. We were getting, 50, 55 miles an hour.
my God.
Shorts, T-shirt, no helmet.
So you wipe
nothing.
out. You wipe out. You're a
Skin
bloody
gr-
mess.
You're a bloody mess.
You're a bloody mess.
Bloody mess. Yeah. That's how I grew up. That was entertainment for me growing up.
But I think that's what makes. I think that's what made growing up fun.
Yeah.
Right. Because you do stupid things like that, and
You don't even think about the
you don't even-
consequences.
You don't. And now. And now that I've gone through that, and I understand consequences, I make better. I think I make better adult decisions. Right. I make better life decisions.
Oh, no,
Having
absolutely.
gone
right?
through that. But I think it's hard raising two boys right now. I love my wife. We've been together since college. I mean, we've been together for a long, long time. And we kind of are polar opposites when it comes to, we both want to raise the kids, and so they're good people.
Right.
She wants to protect them a little bit more. I want to let them fall off a scooter and get bumped
Absolutely.
up a couple of times.
Yeah.
And learn there as well. I think they both are good life lessons, right? It's okay to kind of talk to a kid about and tell them about the experience and teach them,
Right.
but then to actually live something and live that moment, whole nother education. Right?
You know what comes to mind with that example? Good Will Hunting. You ever watch Good Will Hunting?
Yeah, great movie.
The scene that pops in my mind when somebody starts talking like that is when Matt Damon and Robin Williams are sitting on the bench, and Matt Damon's like, "Yeah, I read about that, or I did this, or I did this," and Robin Williams gets like mad at him, and he's like, "Yeah, you read about holding hands, walking on." I'm totally.
Yep,
It's
I
not what
remember.
he's saying, but it's
Right.
the example. Yeah, you can read about holding hands, walking on a beach with your loved one, but actually experiencing it is completely different.
And it what's interesting about that is you find out, I don't know if it's in that moment or you find later that his wife had passed, right? Robin Williams.
Yeah.
In life, he had lost his wife.
Yeah.
And I think he's helping Matt Damon's character understand you can't just read about everything.
Right, right.
Not everything's, you could be book smart.
A common sense, man. Street smart.
Street
common.
smart. That's,
Yeah.
and whatever you want to call it, it's just, life is about living, right? Life isn't about reading books and watching videos. And I've got a thirst for knowledge.
Same here.
I
That's why I started
love-
this podcast.
It's a great idea, man. It's an extension of you, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Doing something like this. It's an extension of what you enjoy doing in life. Me, I can watch how to build a table, how to cut a piece of wood, how to plumb, how to run electrical, how to because I have a quest for understanding how things operate. I have a quest for knowledge, exotic animals, weird shit. I mean, I just want to understand all these different things that are going on. So I'll sit for, if I have quiet time, it's just me and my phone or me in the internet, I just start digging into stuff just start, hey, I want to learn about that. I want to find out what that's all about. And it's fun. And then, and now I know. So then I see it, or I touch it, or I feel it, or now I understand how it works. I understand how it's put together. But I think it's part of the balance of life. You got to live it, and you got to learn it. There's two different sides to it.
Yeah, and the saying I have is, if you live under your bed, eventually it'll fall on you. So you get out and do things, right?
Get out and do stuff.
Brings up a conversation I had. I'm a huge motorcycle enthusiast.
All right, cool.
Been riding forever.
Nice.
Crazy stories about riding.
Yeah.
And my wife and I got in an accident in California in December.
Were you both on the same bike?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. 100% my fault.
Okay.
We took a bike from San Francisco to San Diego on the down the PCH.
Was it a rental bike?
Yeah.
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 Okay. Gotcha.
Of course, I got all the insurance.
Loaded up, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And I was like, just where do I sign everything? And the day before, on Saturday, cruising to PCH in December, no traffic, so just totally relaxed. It'd be like, we're
So you're going from San Francisco to L.A.
Yeah, we went to L.A.
So you got the coast on your right
Absolutely.
side, which is
It's the only-
better. That's the better drive.
Only way to do it.
Yeah.
Only
yeah,
way to do it.
Yeah.
So we see some people in LA, some friends. We stay Saturday night. We get up Sunday, have some brunch and stuff. Sunday afternoon, we leave them guys totally relaxed, having a good time, jump on the 405, thinking I'm still on the PCH. Right. A guy stops in front of me because there's a big corner coming up. Guy just slams on his brakes.
Locks him up. Locks it up.
I handle the bike well enough to where I don't hit him, but I come super close. And I could still, to this, me talking about it right now, I can still see him looking at me in his rearview mirror on the driver's side rearview mirror.
Yep.
Eyes get huge, slams on his brakes again. I hit him. About 50 miles an hour, I smash into him. We go tumbling down the 405.
So you think he was done on purpose? You think he locked him up?
No, I think he freaked out because I'm like right on top of him, and it was a reaction.
Okay,
But
gotcha.
it pissed me off to no end.
Yeah.
Thanks, the cool head of my wife, I would have beat the piss out of him.
Yeah.
But that's a whole other story. And so I was talking to some people I was telling that story, and they're like, well, would you ever ride again? They asked my wife. She's like, man, if that bike was operational, we would never stayed. We would have jumped on it, kept going, And
That's a hard hit. 50 miles an hour on a bike.
and we skidded down. I saw the bike go flying down the highway, and I'm like, woo, thank God. But the only reaction, the only thing going through my mind was my wife.
Of course. Yeah.
She went off the back, and I'm so glad that she was, the way the bike kind of, and I was trying to, of course you can't control it. You're just trying to do something.
It's controlled fall.
Yeah, and she bounced off, skidded just a little bit, and I was sliding with, I'd
you
laid
went with the bike? You
I'd
it
laid
down?
the bike down. I was trying to keep it from going across 5 lanes of fucking 405 traffic, right?
Wow.
And could stop me and my wife from going across those lanes.
Sure.
And the only thing going through my mind was somebody's not going to stop. They're going to hit my wife, right? And I was like, oh, shit. So I'm sliding, and I'm doing kind of a swim move and trying to look back to make sure.
Oh, you're trying to
Look
tilt
at-
your head. Yeah.
To see my wife. I see her get up, and it was amazing. The whole 405 came to a complete stop. Nobody went by us.
So
I
not their first time seeing this.
Maybe I never thought of that.
Not their
Yep.
first time.
That's a great point.
You get
Because-
a lot of accidents on the 405.
Yeah, that's a good point. Didn't even think of that. And I see her get up, and she ran off the road, and I was like, okay, I'm good. This feeling came over me. I'm like, you could run me over right now, and I don't know.
She's safe.
That's all I cared
Yeah,
about. It was such a huge emotion that ran over me when I saw that she was safe. And then a couple motorcycle guys helped get the bike off. I had the bike off the ground. We had to bend the fender because the front fender crushed down the front wheel, so
Yeah,
it
I'd
wouldn't
imagine. Yeah.
roll. So they helped me do that. We got the bike off and everything. But a lady goes, would you ride again? I'm like, I've crashed a bike a bunch of times, right? And the moral, I guess the moral of the story is what you were saying. I told her, I go, if I never rode again when I first crashed, I've had such amazing experiences.
Oh, sure.
Riding a motorcycle,
Yeah.
incredible, seen incredible things, done incredible things on a motorcycle. And if I stopped riding after those crashes, I would have never had those amazing
missed out on
experiences.
everything.
Right.
It's those decisions in life you make. I always wonder, you get to those crossroads of decisions in life. You say, am I going to do this or am I going to do that? Right? You do a lot more of it as a kid, I think, growing up. You get a lot more of those crossroads where you got to pick. And I think as you get older, it's all those experiences you had that make those decisions easier.
Absolutely.
But you always look back as a kid and you go, I wonder if I had done
If I dated Sarah instead of Debbie, what would have happened?
Yeah.
Right?
Or exactly. If I'd gone to college and done this instead of that,
Right.
what would I have become? What would my life? If I had gone away to college, maybe in Midwest instead of staying in New Jersey, or if I'd, it's all those decisions. I would not have met my wife, right? If I had gone to a different college, I would not have met my wife. We would not have had kids. We'd not maybe have opened up a brewery. I might not have gone the corporate route. There's so many things you just wonder. But we're here there's a purpose, right? You got to imagine it's not a happen
You ended
chance.
up here for a reason.
Right.
Right?
It's not for luck. It's not just, oops, here we are. It's like, I don't know how people can go through life. And I guess they have their own reasons. I don't understand it. Maybe my mind processes differently, but I can't imagine that
Going through life how?
Randomly. Just, here I am.
Yeah, but okay. So that being said, how random are you talking? Because if somebody banged down the door and they had 50 people that they want to buy beer, that's completely random. Would you say no? Would you open up? I mean, obviously there's regulations.
But
and law.
that's a choice, right? It's a choice. Do
okay.
I want to?
Okay.
Do I want
Yeah,
to? I got a rule. I got a rule that I can't be open. But do I open up anyway? And you make those choices. It's those choices, and then you look back on life. You can't look back and regret. I guess my point is, you don't look back and regret. You go, you got to look at that moment where you are, and you got to say, I made some good decisions in life. I got to a good point. I'm in a good place.
Right.
Whether you're rich, you're poor, you're healthy, you're sick, whatever it is, you are where you are in life. Right? Yeah, I think that's good.
And the thing is, too, carrying the weight of something that you did 5 years ago doesn't float with me. Mm-mm. What are you going to do about it?
You can't undo. I call that. I teach my kids this. I coach football. I coach basketball. I've coached baseball. I love coaching kids.
Awesome.
Because you got to teach kids about sports amnesia. Right.
Sports amnesia.
Sports amnesia. Bad play. You're a receiver. You go to catch the ball. You don't catch the ball. Right.
Okay.
We missed the pass. Now we turn the ball over. Kid comes off the field. God damn it! I missed that play. We're gonna lose the game now. Like, no. Forget that last play. Go back out. What did you do? What can you do better? Go out and take that with you. Don't take the fact
anger
that you,
with you.
Don't take the fact that you screwed up the play, if that's how you look at it, back on the field, because you're not going to be a better person, a better player because of it.
Yep.
Take the part that you did well. Well, I ran a good route. I didn't extend my hands fast enough. Okay, well, run the good route again. Now extend your hands out, or whatever.
Right.
Whatever
it could be. Yeah.
Whatever that is. You can't look back and I think it's hard life is a very complicated thing. If every day you're looking back going, boy, I should have done this differently every moment.
Well, that being said, the way I look at it, and my wife and I look at it is, if I'm thinking about, 5 years ago I should have done this different, I'm not sitting here with you because I'm sitting there 5 years ago. Right? So fuck what you did 5 years ago.
A lot of people do that. You ever? And I meet a lot of people here, right? I meet a lot.
You're
tons of people, right?
Of
I talk to I hear a lot of stories. God, I can't. Wish I'd gone and traveled to here. Well, why don't you travel there now?
No.
I wish I'd gone to Europe. I wish I had I wish I bought a different house or I had a different car. And I'm like, sell your car, buy another car. It's a material object. In the end, it doesn't really matter. It's a car.
Yeah.
You want to travel? Dude, traveling's simple nowadays. You can go anywhere.
God.
When we were kids, it was hard to travel.
Well, it was a whole ordeal to travel.
It was especially if you did like an international travel, it was a massive ordeal. I remember when we moved to Europe, like I was telling you, we had to go from Louisiana to New York City to JFK, over to Iceland, then to London, then to Amsterdam, and then car down. We were traveling for like 3 freaking days. Nonstop, just travel.
Now people complain if it's an 8-hour flight.
Yeah. You don't understand, man. When I was younger, to get from here to even Europe, which is now like, what, a 5-hour, 6-hour flight?
Yeah, depending on
was
where you go,
a journey. I had never seen a city before in my life. I grew up in, Louisiana's just flat, poor, small
is that where you grew
towns.
up?
It is. Where I was born, I grew up as a kid. I haven't been there a long time, but I do miss it. But I remember when I saw New York City for the first time as a kid.
It's like a whole other planet.
Holy crap! I was like, oh my god, this place. I was afraid. Everything was massive. It was just massive buildings. I'm like, this place. What is this? What is all this? And then I got on a 747 because that's what we flew to get over to Europe. The first leg of the trip to Iceland was a 747. I'm like, what the hell is this? It was the biggest plane I'd ever seen in my life.
Yeah.
And it's those moments, I'm like, oh, my eyes are huge, and I'm just trying to take it all in and process it as a kid, coming from, nothing. But I think it comes down to people just don't realize how easy it is. If you need to go do something so that you don't look back and regret, just do it.
Do it now.
Do it now. Why wait till tomorrow? Oh, I don't have the money. You know what? Put $10 a week in an envelope. It's not going to change your lifestyle.
No. Yeah, get one less Starbucks or one less beer.
And you know what?
Don't say it.
You know what? In 2 years, you'll be able to do what you want to do.
Yeah.
So the thing is, you got to, if you want it bad enough, you'll adjust your lifestyle to make it happen. You will.
Absolutely. Or you'll make an excuse.
Or you make something happen, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, or you make an excuse. You go, I can't do that. I can't.
then
I'll
you
never get there. I'll never see that. That's your choice.
Well,
Now you made a choice.
Yeah.
Now you made a choice. That's good, but now you got to live with the choice. And now the problem with that is then you make the choice. I find people make those choices and they say, well, I can't do it. And then they come back, a month later and they're like, I can't believe I haven't done that yet. It's like, dude, you made a choice not to do it.
Do it. Yeah.
So don't now forget about it. You
Move
decided,
on to something else.
Move on to something else.
Yeah,
You decided
absolutely.
you're not going to do it.
I'm a huge fan of that as well. Like when I started this thing, I was like, I'm going to do it. It was, if you can't stop thinking about it, you should do it.
Mm-hmm.
Did you have that here at the brewery? Like what made you start? What got you into this?
When I graduated college, I knew I always wanted to run my own company.
Okay.
So I knew that was my life goal, right? That I just kind of
But you
established.
didn't know
that.
what kind of company.
Never knew what it was.
Okay.
I could never, and I think it's what held me back is because I was looking for all those years. I was looking for what's the perfect business to run and own, right?
Oh wow.
So I started creating these pillars of expectation, right?
Mm-hmm.
So while I was
analysis paralysis.
it was. It's a great, it's a great way of putting it because no business was good enough. And I'd started up, I had started up 3 or 4 small businesses in my career while I was working full time in the corporate world, moving up the corporate ladder.
Right,
and,
right.
Starting at the bottom and working my way up and until I've got this global business responsibility and it's great. I'm loving it. Traveling, now I'm away from my family. Oh my God, now I'm getting further and further away from my dream because if I don't do it, you get to a point in life where if you don't make that decision to do something,
then it ain't going to work.
then you can't do it.
Right.
And then now you're looking back going, shit, I wish I had. Now I can't. Now I definitely can't do it because now I got kids going to college. I got responsibilities as a parent. So I never knew it was going to be beer. But Mike and I have been friends for a long time. My business partner, Mike.
Okay.
We've been friends for a long time. There's something about Mike, like you and I, right? I could see Mike after not talking to him for a couple of months, and we just pick up where we left off.
Yeah, it's like we saw each other yesterday.
Exactly.
Yep.
Mike's always had that kind of friendship. We did a lot of events together at our church, fundraiser. We did a big fundraiser, raised a lot of money together. And then I realized, the idea of having somebody as a partner accelerates a lot of processes, especially if it's somebody that you care about, that's friends with you, that you've experienced a lot of things in life with, makes it that much easier. So we had talked about craft beer. We would go away. Our families would go away together. We'd get together for holidays, things like that. And we drink craft beer. And we're like, and talking to Mike, I said, you know what? What if we open up our own brewery? I had never brewed beer before. Mike had brewed a bit on the side, as he was.
Yeah, but you don't have to do that to run a successful business.
You don't. I think a lot of people think you do.
Yeah.
I think that was part of what part of my hang up was, and it further drove my quest for knowledge and understanding is if I'm going to do it, I better know everything about it. And the reality of it is you don't. you just got to make a decision. And then like everything else in life, you learn. And you learn as you do, and you learn as you execute your plan, right? You kind of figure it out, and you go, well, that didn't work.
Yeah, you get punched in the face, you move on. You get punched in the face, you move on.
But you keep moving on.
Yeah.
That's the important part of that, is you don't let it stop you. One of these moments, any one of them in the last 3.5 years since we've been open, there are many days where you're just like, man, that's just too much. What the hell did I get myself into? Right?
Yeah.
It's like a second marriage. I probably spend more time at my business than I do with my wife, and I do.
Yeah, of course.
And I said, man, I'm going to quit my corporate job because I want to spend more time with my kids. And then I realized
you become an entrepreneur, and then you're
it's like, but I never knew what it was going to be. I just knew I wanted to run something, make a difference, right? Be something that people would look at and go, wow, that's something they built. That's something they started. That's their thing. And that's kind of the approach I take. I try not to look back with too much regret, but there are some mistakes that we've made. I think any business makes.
Well, I was going to say, and you'll continue to make them.
We're gonna make mistakes. We make mistakes every day. Yep. I'm just sitting out there working on a boiler.
When I got here, you were scratching your head looking at a boiler.
Yeah, so it's like this decision, right? So I'm working on the boiler. There's 2 boards in it, two electronic boards. I know I've got to replace them both. So I replaced one, powered up the boiler, thinking, I got it.
I got this.
I got this, right? Boiler runs for a couple of minutes and stops working again. Well, shit, here I am again. This is when you showed up.
Yeah.
I was taking the panel off to replace the other board. Now, if I'd replaced both boards in the beginning, I would not have had to lose more time with this project. But I chose. To only do one, and then I chose. I got to finish the job.
Right.
If I just finished the job in the first place, so it's a lesson. It's the same lesson I learn all the time. It's like you can't cut corners.
No, that's
you can't cut corners. There's no such thing as cutting corners. We learn you can't cut corners on service. You can't cut corners on employees. You can't cut corners on quality.
Yeah,
just can't. Any of those things, you cut a corner on it, and it takes you longer to get out of that situation than it did to get into it.
Yeah, I have some hard lessons learned about employees, because you're like, okay, we'll put this person in here, and then it just doesn't work, and you're like, shit. Mm-hmm. You made that choice. You thought it was a good choice, but then you hung on way too long.
Yeah.
What's that saying? Hire slow, fire
Hire
quick?
slow, fire quick. Yeah.
Does that work for you?
No, it doesn't. I'm not good at that. I'm you know what? There's a lot of times in my life I've worked in some big businesses where we had to do big layoffs, and I hated every one of them.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
I've been there.
And it's not a fun thing to do. So I figure with my own company, I'm going to do things different. I'm gonna be that different guy, right?
How's that working out?
Yeah. It's working out great.
But
I try to coach people out of situations, right?
Sure. I mean,
so I'd rather, maybe they don't know. I try to give people the benefit of the doubt. Maybe they don't know. They don't realize it. And I know quite a bit. I've been through enough in life.
Right. Yeah, but you strike me as the type of guy, and me knowing you the way I do,
Mm-hmm.
it's not do this or else. No, it's okay, man. Let's try it this way.
Yeah. It's more my management style. Yeah. Let's
try
things different.
Don't worry about it. That didn't work.
I can see the end before we're even there, right? I'm one of those people, like I already know.
Right.
I learned early on, plan for where you want to be and then work your way backwards.
Oh,
know where you're going.
Dude.
Come backwards.
I'm a huge
Don't go forward.
Reverse engineer it.
Reverse engineer it, man.
I'm a huge fan of that.
That's
fan of that. But like with this project here, I wanted a creative outlet. And like you, I love knowledge.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm telling you, man, the stuff that I've learned just sitting here talking to people, because you saw how we set this up.
Oh, yeah,
I set it up, we just start talking.
Just start chatting.
Right? Some of the stuff I've learned, it's super fun.
Yeah.
Right? But there is no analysis paralysis. I don't do that. I don't have any of that in everything I do in life. If I want to do something, I just grab it and go. Like this, I bought some shit off Amazon. invited some friends over and said, "Hey, man, let's just start talking.
Let's figure it out.
Just figure it out.
Let's figure it out.
Yeah, the first
the best way to
episodes
do
are
it.
horrible, dude. I mean, they're like, I listen to them, I'm like, whoo, but I leave them up.
Yeah.
You know, because
But beer for us, beer is the same way for me. We made our first few batches of beer. You look back on those and
throw
you go,
that down the drain.
well, no, we never. I don't think they were ever that bad. They weren't. I think they were, for who we were at that moment and what we were capable of doing at that moment. That was the best we could do.
Right.
I always believe that. But I knew we could do better. I know we could make better beer. I didn't get into it. I didn't get into this industry and this business and a company and put my family and everything on the line to kind of be mediocre.
Right, of course. Yeah.
You want to be the best you can be. You put your product out there. You hope people like it. You take feedback, take creative feedback. Keep getting better at what you do, right? It's like you said, first time you crack this equipment, it's like,
dude,
wow, we got to learn, right?
Yeah.
And you keep telling me, Chuck, get closer to the mic. Come on, pull in. And I keep backing up and I got to come forward again.
Yeah, right.
It's one of the, eventually I'll just stay right here. I'll just rest my chin on this thing.
Yeah.
And just
That's what
stay
I
right
should
here.
get. I should get one of
Get a
those things
chin
like,
rest.
like at the eye doctor, you know, where they say, put your
exactly.
chin right here.
Put your chin right here and talk. And just talk the whole time.
Just sit there. I don't care if your back hurts or not.
That's
Dude.
it.
Just keep.
That's it. But I think that's part of any company. And whether I made beer or widgets or computers or pills,
Yeah, I think
you learn as you go, you get better as you go. And I wish, I want to pass that on to my team. When we fail, it's not a personal thing. I'm not going to, I tend to be the most forgiving guy. And I've had employees take advantage of that.
Sure.
I'm
But I think
giving.
I think the pro is way outweighs the con on that.
I agree.
You get more out of that than you lose.
You know why? Because in the end, the people that take advantage of it, the few that have, are still finding what they want to be. They're looking for that. And the people that at least I've tried to get through to and that understand that, listen, if I'm mad, you're going to know I'm mad.
Right.
If you fuck up and take responsibility, but let's move on. Let's figure out how we do it better next time. I didn't hire you so I could fire you.
Right.
That's not my intention.
Now, would you categorize that as checking your ego?
Me or them? Or both?
Or both.
Yeah, it's not about, I don't think it's about ego. I think it's about what people have experienced from previous bosses. I think that people get, I think there's some really bad managers in the world. I think there's really bad bosses, really bad people that shouldn't be leading other people through life. Right. It's basically what we're doing, right? I take people and they've said, hey, I'll work for you. They spend more time here than they spend at home.
Right.
I'm a very, I think people don't realize I've put everything into this company. My whole life is in this company. So I'm going to be a little bit more hands-on. I'm going to be a little bit more involved to understand what's going on. But once I'm comfortable, I back off. I'm like, hey, man, you got it. This is your thing now.
Yeah, the way I looked at it, too, when I had employees, any decision you make is not going to drown the company. I'm talking about...
They could. In my business, they could. We make a lot of bad beer. It'll kill the company.
Okay, so I'm talking maybe customer like somebody
like
up
my
front
sample
here.
room manager, right? We have one customer that comes in and doesn't have a great experience, won't kill us.
Right.
If I have a room full of customers that have bad experiences, it kills my reputation, destroys my brand.
Right, and but the thing is that one decision, that's an ongoing thing. So if you see one instant like that, you say, hey, listen, here's a coaching moment.
Right.
Right? Okay, maybe at that moment, you thought that was the best decision. But moving forward, I would like you to handle it this way. I mean, I'm just, obviously, I'm spitballing here.
Yeah, sure. Not with
but I like to empower people to make, obviously, I think you agree with that.
Yep.
Make your own decisions.
I agree.
But
Until
take
you
responsibility.
can't make decisions. I've had employees that you give them the opportunity to make decisions, but they don't want to make decisions because they're afraid of taking responsibility for that decision and the ramifications of those decisions. But I think that's an individual issue. And we're not a big business. I have probably 13, 14 employees, most. Handful of full-time people and a lot of part-time people.
Okay.
So I don't have a lot of leeway, right? If you can't make a comfortable decision or you don't know the right and wrong of your decision,
You might wanna
that's
find
going to be a
something
hard,
else.
and that's not my choice. That's your choice.
Right.
Because I don't have a big team and you got to make decisions and you got to be responsible for those decisions.
Well, I think that's like you said, that's holding them back
yeah,
from making a decision because they don't want the responsibility if things go wrong.
right.
You know, it's like, it's okay.
But I think I try to communicate that as best I can. Some people hear it, some people don't.
Yeah. Yeah. Now, do you find that with the kids too when you coach them?
My kids,
Yeah. You know, the baseball and football and all that.
there's kids that shouldn't play sports. There are kids that play sports that should continue to play sports. There's kids that are just going through the motions because their parents put them on the field. I've seen everything.
Do you get those parents that are yelling at you for not playing their kid and all
Sure,
that?
sure. I mean, it's sometimes, especially I think football is the one that the most, defense is one thing. Defense, you're hitting a kid. Offense, you're a target.
Yeah.
Right. You put yourself out as a wide receiver and you extend yourself, you turn your head to catch the ball and some kid comes up and plows through you.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
yeah.
and you're not aware as a player, that player, you could really get hurt.
Sure. Absolutely.
You don't take, and some parents, and I'm guilty of it. I think every parent should be guilty of it. You expect more from your kid. You hope that your kid can do more. And when they don't, you get really pissed. And the only person you can get pissed at, because you're not getting pissed at your kid,
Right.
you get pissed at the coach.
Yeah.
It's the coach's fault.
Yeah.
Coach isn't giving my kid the opportunity. Coach isn't playing my kid because he hates my kid or he's holding my kid back. There's only so many positions on a field, on a court, whatever it is you're doing. The only thing, I typically coach team sports. I don't coach one-on-one. Like wrestling for me is it's a team sport, but it's one-on-one competition.
Absolutely. Yeah,
you
yeah,
against
yeah.
somebody else, right? Football's complete team. You got 11 guys, and you gotta have everybody in the right position at the right time. Coaches spend all their time coaching and watching the kids to understand how best to put them on that
when
field.
I was playing football, the coach was like, "It's a team sport, but it's an individual sport. Don't worry about
individual
the guy."
contribution to a team effort.
Yeah. Oh, that's a good way to put it.
Oh yeah,
Make sure your house is clean before you worry about the guy next to you.
exactly.
Take care of your own position.
Yep.
Right.
Yep. And I got lucky. I coached with some really great people in town. I've got a chance to coach some really good kids. For the most part, the kids they're either still in athletics or they've moved on to something. Maybe it's ROTC, maybe it's a math club, or they're involved in student council or something like that.
Yeah.
I can't think of a lot of kids that I've coached that haven't turned out well. Because I think at the very least, we've tried to give them something that they...
Take a nugget with you, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Play a whole season of football. Maybe you didn't play a lot, but you got to understand that just because you didn't play, you helped prepare your team to play.
Yeah.
Maybe that's where your contribution was. And I don't think... I've learned that it's often the parents don't support that as much as they want their kid on the field all the time.
Being a superstar. And
everybody wants a kid to be a superstar.
Yeah,
I want my kids to be superstars.
Of course.
If you don't, then you're. What's the alternative? Oh God, I hope my kid sits on the bench and fails at this sport.
Right.
What are you wishing for here? I think everybody wants that, but I think there comes a reality. I'm at the point in my life where I watch my kids playing. He's playing high school football. He goes out and contributes. He goes where the coach tells him to go, puts his best effort on the field, and gets off the field. Right? He doesn't play every play.
Right.
But when he plays, I said, at least make a difference. Do what you're supposed to do on the field.
And you're contributing to the quote-unquote greater good, right?
Exactly. I coach church basketball. Right? I go to my church. I've got these junior kids. So I've got 7th, 8th, and 9th grade kids that I coach now.
Mm-hmm.
And some of these kids, it's a church basketball program. So some of them never played organized recreational sports. This is the first time they're ever playing a sport. Maybe the first time they're ever even touching a basketball in their entire life.
That's awesome, though, to get out there and do it.
Oh yeah, I love it. I enjoy doing it.
Right.
So it's my job, and I pick my assistant coaches to work with me on this. We're going to teach them an offense. We're going to teach them defense. We're going to teach basketball offense. We're not going to let the kids run up and down the court and just flick the ball up in the air.
Yeah.
And it's what we're supposed to do as coaches. I've seen too many coaches who are just like, especially in basketball, that's the easiest one. You just let the kids run it up and down, shoot, get on the defense, stop the ball, go up and down the court.
That's 90% offense.
But you got to teach the kids good offense.
Yeah,
We teach them a read and react offense.
Right.
If we're seeing a man to man, we run an offense. If we see a zone, we run another offense. We understand there's two different defenses when we see them, because it's church. It's 7th, 8th, and 9th grade basketball, dude. This isn't
block and tackle, man. Just simple.
It's all it is, man. It's simple stuff, right? You see the kid, you try to get the basketball, you shoot, But we try to teach them these offenses, and the kids get frustrated because they just want to run up and down the court and shoot. I'm like, no, guys, it's not what you guys. I always tell the kids at the beginning of the season, I'm asking one question: Do you want me to coach you to win, or do you want me to coach you just to come out and laugh and have a good time? Because it's two different coaches.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
Two different coaches.
Yeah, big time.
And they'll come up and they'll say, "Yo, coach, we want to win. We want to win something."
Well, here we
go. So I said, here's what we're going to do. You're going to listen to your coaches. I'm going to teach an offense, teach you defense. When you're on the court, you're going to play my offense, you can play my defense. I'm going to tell you how to play. You do it. It's all great. So occasionally you get that one kid gets on the court, he forgets, right? He forgets.
Yeah.
He's got basketball amnesia. He forgets all the coaching. He goes out there and he wants to be the superstar. He sees the breakaway. He takes every breakaway. He knows he's faster than the kids on the other team, so he just runs and shoots. And great, we make a couple of baskets in a row. Love it. I pull him off the court.
Yep.
Pull him off the court. I was like, what are you doing? Coach, I'm putting points on the board. I said, no. You're not playing as a team. You're not playing with your team. You're not playing as part of your team. You're a one-man show. You're trying to be something that I'm not asking you to be.
Right,
if I wanted to do that, we play a whole different game of offense and defense.
Yeah.
We'll chuck you the ball. You run. You make sure you're open. We're going to throw it to you. You shoot every time. That's not what it's about.
No.
We move the ball around. We set up our offense, set up our shots, take our shots when they look good. That's how we win a game. Now, luckily, knock on wood,
you're doing well.
Championships last 2 years.
Yeah, because if you weren't doing well, it'd be like, okay, we're coach. What are you doing?
What the hell are you doing, coach?
So
we went second in the States last year.
Oh, nice. Congratulations.
Thank you very much. We took, and it was a group of boys that had some skills, had some capabilities, put them in the right spots on the basketball court, give them a couple of plays, formal plays. And there's always those opportunities for the fast break. You always take advantage of those.
Yeah, but the
Basic
fundamentals, they're called fundamentals for a reason.
Right, exactly.
Yep. So I got a question for you. Since you're a coach,
Mm-hmm.
what do you think of this participation trophy stuff?
I grew up in the participation generation.
You did?
Well, with coaching as a coach.
As
As
a
kids,
coach.
right? As a
Okay.
coach. Everybody's got to get something when they come off the field. You know what we got when we got off the field when I was a kid?
A high five.
High five, dude.
Or do better next time.
Yeah, exactly.
Yep.
Come and play harder next time. Hey, work on your, baseball. Work on your swing, Chuck. Your cut's not good. You got to get your cut down. You got to keep your eye on the ball.
It was always a work on something. It was never hardly ever a compliment.
Right. It was always, hey, you know what? Good, we won. I remember when I was in as a kid in baseball, we won championships 2 years in a row. The only time we celebrated was after the last game and after that last win. We don't celebrate during the season. When you celebrate, you just won a game. Great. Okay. You got another game to win.
Yeah.
Go win the next game, then win next game, and then celebrate when you win the whole thing.
Yeah, the phrase we always use playing sports, act like you've been there before.
Yeah.
If you score, you win. Hey, great.
Yeah.
If you lose, stand up like a man too, and be like,
you see these guys jump around nowadays in the end zone. You watch football, professional football. See these guys with these stupid dances, all those crazy dances and shit. I don't know. It's like, it's not. This isn't wrestling, right? This is football. You're paid to play a sport. Go play that sport, and when you score, give it to the fans.
Yeah.
Don't put the spotlight on you.
Right.
60,000 people staring at you or whatever, and people at home staring at you. Give it back to them. Let them know you did it for them. That's what it's really all about. I think we lose a lot of that. But I tell you, this participation thing, every year into the season in football, everybody got a medal. Whether you were in first place, last place, everybody got a medal. Everybody got a trophy, and I I look back at it and I go, what are we trying to teach here? You're teaching competition. You're teaching someone how to lose gracefully.
Work harder.
Isn't that life though?
Well, that's what I'm saying.
I don't get a participation trophy in life.
I was going to say, if your bank account's in the negative at the end of the year, do you get a trophy for that?
Right. You get nothing.
You get nothing.
You know what you get? Man. You get another year hard work.
Yeah, exactly. The opportunity to work harder.
Yeah. Opportunity to work harder next year.
Yeah.
You got to make it happen.
I don't know. I've always said, and I don't have kids, so it's hard for me to look into that. But like growing up, same thing. Anytime I did anything, yeah, that was cool. But you need to work on this, this, and this.
Sure.
Oh shit! All right, so you go work on it.
Makes me think, right? Makes me a thinker. I think it's a big part of what's missing in sports today, right? And you don't get the thinking athlete. You get the athlete that's kind of like a robot. You get a lot of them out there.
Yeah.
And they're just like, hey, I'm waiting for the coach to tell me what to do. I'm going to go,
Yep.
I'm going to go do my thing, whatever it is. It's the guy that thinks about, man, what did I do last time? What do they need me to do? What's my responsibility?
Cut this or do this or
it's always even in football. You watch, if it's and the offensive guys know the play, right? The play's not towards my side. They half-ass their route. They don't jog my route. Yeah, they don't sell it, right?
Right.
And you got to sell it. They don't sell it. Defensive guy sees it. Pew, he's across the other side of the field tackling your guy. I've seen guys run from one side of the field to the other, tackle a guy because they know their guy's not getting the ball.
Yeah, absolutely. I was a right defensive end for a long time.
Okay.
And I started on the offensive line, and it was in a league out in Colorado. And one day they needed somebody on defense, and I knew the fundamentals of offense and defense.
Okay.
He's like, defensive end, try that. I'm like, all right. Just any pointers? He goes, seal the corner, and if you know it's not coming to you, kill the quarterback. I said, done.
I could do that.
Yeah, that's easy enough.
See the simple instructions.
Yeah. And and my dad always says, do half as much twice as good. So if you just concentrate on what you're doing.
That's it.
Right? Don't spread yourself too thin.
Yep.
And at that time, the coach was like, that's all I want you to, if you know that the play's not coming to you at that side, kill the quarterback. I'm like, fuck, I got that.
Yep.
And that's...
As soon as that quarterback rolls out and looks the opposite direction,
here I come, dude.
Here I come from the weak side. I'm taking you out, baby.
Yeah, and it's not going to be
That's where my older son plays weak side outside linebacker.
Oh, okay.
And then he's coming. He's fast around the outside. He's had some good sacks this year. He's a junior, so he's up against the seniors. He's at the varsity level, so he's trying to find his place on the field.
Yep.
Takes whatever he can get. Right. You're a junior. You take your moments when you can get them, like you were saying.
But you learn
before.
from them too.
But you learn, and when he'd get out on defense, boy, the coach would let him loose. All right, take him. You'd see him scramble around the outside and fucking lay out a quarterback. Just take him out. I love that. I love those moments, right? And I hope that when kids play sports, that's what they take away, are those moments where they contributed. They did that one little thing right.
And that was, well, okay.
Because there are only so many moments like that. You're not the quarterback, right? Quarterbacks are different. Quarterbacks touch the ball every play.
Time, right.
Every down. Right. Center touches the ball every down. Between the center and quarterback, they're touching the ball the whole game.
Right.
Everybody else has an opportunity to touch the ball. Right.
So when you do, make it spectacular, right?
Make it something outstanding.
Okay, so that being said, take it away from a team sport.
Yep.
You golf?
I do.
Okay.
I do. I don't golf well.
So I used to say that I used to drink beer and a golf game would break out.
Exactly.
Right?
I don't keep score. When I play with guys, they hate it. But I'm not there to keep score. Golf for me I don't get the luxury of getting out of my business very often, especially to go pound on a little white ball on a golf course.
Right,
so I bring beer, I bring a cigar, I make a festive day out of it. I try to surround myself with guys I want to hang out with for a few hours.
Yep.
And it's a fun day out. And that's what golf is to me.
Okay.
These guys get really... I've played with guys that get really into...
Now, seeing what I used to like about golf was most of the day, I'm not hitting very well because I didn't play a lot. Like when I was in the corporate world, I played a lot because that's how I entertained and did all that.
Yep.
What was nice is what you were saying about that one play, right?
Yep.
Is if I got 2 or 3 really nice shots playing 18 holes,
You're happy. You're happy,
I'm
right?
super happy.
I agree.
And I'm a big card player. I love playing poker.
Okay.
So I'll sit at a poker table for 12 hours and not think none of it, right? But if I get 1 or 2 or 3 really good, fun hands that 12 hours, that's what made my day,
Yep.
right? So you got to look at, like you said, those moments. You put all this work in for that one moment. But that's what made it so great is that all the work you put in for it.
It's
Right?
you can't forget, and that one moment doesn't happen just because that one moment was just luck. Everything came together. Don't forget, you've been playing for how many years? You've been swinging a club for how many years? How many times that day did you already swing before you got that one good shot?
Well, you know the definition of luck
What's that?
is when preparation meets opportunity.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Right? So
It is.
when we talk, like when I'm sitting at a card table, you just like golf, you hang out with people that you want to hang out with, and they talk, and you just get talking, and somebody's like, "You got lucky on that hand." No, there's no such thing as luck. I put myself in an opportunity to maximize that.
That's it.
I prepped for it.
Yep.
Boom, opportunity. I got paid.
Cards are a tricky woman. They really you don't.
Well, yeah.
You don't know. You know what's being dealt. You know what cards are on the table, right? You see what's out there already, and strategically you look at your hand and you go, okay, what can I do with what's left, right? That's
right.
For me, that's what cards are, right? You see something, you see people drop cards, whatever it is, and it depends on what do you play? You play poker, you play
Hold'em.
All right.
Yeah.
So
Omaha and Hold'em.
there you go. Single deck, double deck.
No, just single deck.
Single deck.
Hold'em is my favorite.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
But I'm to the point, like when I first started years and years ago, I had a mentor,
Yeah.
depending on what accent you have.
Mentor.
I was like, really? I mean, there's 52 cards in the deck. I can do country boy math and this, that, and the other.
Sure.
How can people be at different levels? Okay, well, take golf. Well, I'm playing the same game as Tiger Woods is, but look where he's at,
Right.
right? So over the years, I've learned, and my mentor eventually said, there's nothing else I can tell you. Now you just got to go see millions of hands. Just get in there and experience it. And it's not cards, it's people. And I love reading people.
It's the tells. It's the trick.
Oh.
It's the twitch. It's that eye. It's the look. It's the handle. It's the sweaty forehead, sweaty lip.
Yeah,
Whatever it
and
is.
a lot of the times,
Yeah.
I don't know how I do it. I don't even try to explain it.
Yeah.
But, like, we'll be playing, and an example, I'll be like, I can't beat your ace queen, so I'm going to fold. And they flip it over and like, how the fuck do you know I had ace queen? I'm like, well, how you bet originally,
Yep.
how you played the turn, how'd you play the flop, how'd you play the turn, how'd you play the river. I put you on ace queen.
Yep.
They're like, what the fuck? And I'm like, I can't tell you how I know how to do that. I just
I'll
pick
never
it up.
know that in my lifetime. You know what I love about cards? The total randomness of my opportunity to play against people who have skill. Right.
Oh, you're randomless. Yeah, you're the variable. We call you the variable.
I'm the guy that doesn't know
Yeah. We're like,
enough
stay
to
away.
screw everything up in the table.
Right.
Same thing with blackjack, right? Because blackjack's
people
one of those
get
games. People get
oh
freaking
my
pissed,
God.
man.
Yeah.
They put money on the table. They're hoping
"You
you're going
didn't
to
play
pass.
that right." And
I'm
you're
like,
like,
hit it. I'm like, hit it.
Yeah.
They look at me like, you don't hit that. I'm like, my money or your money? If you want to give me your money, I'll bet with your money. You tell me how to play my cards.
Yeah, absolutely.
This is my money, my cards. I play what I want to do.
I've come to that years ago. I came to that conclusion, and I wholeheartedly believe that in poker.
Yep.
When I'm at a tournament and they do something, people are like, "You're not supposed," because they tell that to me.
Oh,
You're not
yeah.
supposed to do
You're
that.
not supposed to do that.
And I'm like, "Who the fuck?
Who the fuck are you?
Yeah, what do you mean I'm not supposed to do that? I'm raking your chips." So, yeah, but that's not how you play. How the fuck you mean that's how I play? It's my money.
Yep.
It's your money. If you do that to me, hey, that's how you play. That's cool.
Exactly.
You know, 8 times out of the 10, I'm going to beat you.
It's what throws these guys off.
Yeah.
They're not used to that. They're used to being able to, this guy's going to do this, guy's going to do that. We're going to come around. I'm going to win.
Yeah.
You're the monkey wrench. You're the guy that comes in and
if
goes.
you can exploit that,
Yeah, of course.
yeah.
I've never been able to, so
Yeah.
don't get me wrong.
Every once in a while, I'll do that, and just to change up the game for me, because it's just more entertainment on my part.
I think that's Texas, right? That's I think
that's
blackjack
Texas.
blackjack is different as a game. I think blackjack you can do that. There is a bit of randomness. You got multiple decks, multiple opportunities in there.
Right.
You could have you hit a 6-5. Sometimes you hit a 13. You hit a 16. Maybe sometimes you feel you watch how many face cards come out and you go, that's a whole lot of face cards, man, over the last couple of hands. I think we're going to hit low, and you hit a 15 or something like that, and you're supposed to hit a 15 anyway.
Right.
You're supposed what do you hit up to? You hit up to 16 or hit up to 17?
Well, the dealer has to hit.
If it's dealer showing low, you don't hit. Right, so if
because
dealer's showing like a
mathematically they're going to bust.
They're going to bust, right?
Right, they have to hit all the way up to 16, I think.
Is that what it is? 16, right? So you
16
got to have greater than 16 in your hand, or else you're just going to push anyway.
Right,
or lose.
Well, that's the theory of
That's
it.
the theory of blackjack. Right?
I just
at a my basic fundamental level. I've won a lot of money on that basic fundamental level.
Well, the other thing I like about Hold'em,
Right.
I used to spend a lot of time in Vegas.
Okay.
If I can get into a $150 Hold'em tournament, I can usually last about 5 or 6 hours.
That's pretty good. That's great entertainment value for $150.
Exactly.
Right.
So this weekend I'll go to the parks, and they have a $100 tournament.
Mm-hmm.
And like I tell people, if I can last 2 hours, that's pretty good return on my money.
It is. Where else are you going to go for $100 and get that kind of entertainment?
Doing
where
something
you're active the whole time. 2 hours of activity, right? You're and your brain is working.
Right.
Your
and
eyes
I truly
are
enjoy
working.
the game.
Yeah.
So now I'm doing something I truly enjoy.
Yep.
I'm being, like you said, I'm being active. I'm studying the game for $50 an hour. Holy shit! You can't go wrong.
No, you go to a movie, it costs you $50 an hour.
Hell yeah,
crazy.
Woo.
The movies it's out of control what they're charging for movies.
You go to the movies much?
I don't anymore.
We're huge
I'm going to go see
movie
Star
goers.
Wars. I'm a Star Wars fan, so I'm going to go see Star Wars. Although I'm reluctant, I'm not really excited about this next one.
You got to see
The Mandalorian.
Midway.
Oh my God, I heard about this movie. I heard about this.
Unfucking believable.
Really?
There was multiple times, more than 3 or 4, like multiple times. I was completely didn't breathe for the whole scene.
Because there was that much.
It was just
You're
super
in the moment.
intense,
You're caught in the moment.
Super intense. Well done.
Yeah.
Some of the acting's a little corny, but that's whatever.
Yeah. You get that.
My wife and I, when we walked out of there, there's this one scene, and it won't ruin it, but the guys, the men, obviously the women too, but the men in that war, I have no idea how they sat in the pilot seat with balls that big.
Yeah. Yeah.
Holy shit. And that's portraying in a movie. That's not even real life.
Yeah.
And I'm freaking out watching that. And I'm like, you got to if you don't have a respect for that generation, you're nuts, dude.
Yeah, I agree.
You know?
I think there's something about by the time you hit Midway in World War II, you'd gone through I think we'd already gone through the European move of attack. We had already done
was it
Yeah,
Midway we've done that?
I thought Midway was 44, 45. We're coming up on Pearl Harbor Day this Saturday.
So
December 7th, right?
that's
coming up.
Yeah, and then
it came to mind as you were talking about Midway.
So during in the movie, that's how the movie started, was Attack on Pearl Harbor.
Okay, gotcha.
Because
Well, that's what led to the
brought us into
Pacific Front. Yeah,
Right.
Yeah.
And then it goes into all that, and I like that kind of history, but I don't want to ruin the movie because there's some pretty
it's
cool
Midway.
things.
It's real life, right? It's based on
Yeah, but
the
there's
real
some cool
events.
things in there that'll kind of
cool.
be a spoiler.
Okay.
I don't know the timeline. Ooh, I'm gonna research
when it happened between 43 and 45.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
I don't know
on all that.
I'm trying to remember.
And then drop the bomb in what 45?
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
45, right?
Yeah, Nagasaki and
Hiroshima.
was August.
August. Man, did you see that fucked up meme? It had a weather report for that date in 45 over Japan. And you know how a weather thing, it says like cold front
Yeah.
and temperatures and all that? Over Hiroshima was like 10,000 degrees.
Oh shit!
I was like, oh, that's brutal, dude.
Too soon. Too soon.
Yeah, that was
That's
brutal.
really. I don't think there's ever a moment where you can look back on that and go, "Oh yeah, it's okay. We can make fun of that now."
No,
there's not.
that
There's
was.
not.
I could see it. The thing
It's
is,
like making fun of D-Day. It's just
oh
you
my
just
God,
you
dude. Like
just-
Saving Private Ryan, that opening scene.
holy crap! You watched. I was riveted when I saw that movie, and it was. I did enjoy when I was a kid at study World War II. I was more into the evolution of armament, right? I
of
studied
course.
tanks from World War I through World War II.
Oh my God, how
and
cool
and
is
you
that?
watch the evolution of I did a little bit of planes, but they didn't excite me as much as like
Tanks?
artillery.
Yeah.
Guns,
Yeah, heavy,
heavy.
right?
So I was really excited about it. So you start watching, and you look at like Saving Private Ryan, that moment when that first gate drops,
And it's
it's through them all. It's like
so how you felt.
I could never in my. I think it's hard. There are guys that give their lives for our country, and I don't think you're never going to know what they went through when they're in those situations,
Right.
or they survive whatever their tour of duty is. But I could tell you, watching stuff like that, you get a better understanding of the pure chaos and heart-wrenching sacrifices these guys are making.
Absolutely. So that feeling that you got, I'm going to assume that you got at opening Saving Private Ryan.
Mm-hmm.
There's easily, for me, there was easily 4 or 5
Oh, wow.
things in Midway that I
Okay.
got that same feeling.
Same thing.
Yeah, where it's just overwhelming. You're like, what the? Are you kidding me?
The sad reality is, and this is, maybe you're the same. What we've grown up in movies is sort of desensitized, right?
Absolutely. Yeah,
I think
absolutely.
and I watch my kids and the kind of things they're watching at their age that I was like, I couldn't have stomached something like that,
Dude,
and they're just like, oh, whatever.
Yeah, dude, if something fell out of the sky and it was a robot of some kind and turned into a transformer, everybody's like, hey, cool. And they take a picture of it with their cell phone and it'd be all over fucking Instagram.
Yeah.
If that happened when I was a kid, I'd be like, ah! And run.
That's how War of the Worlds. The whole World of the World.
Oh,
it was a
God,
play.
that-
It was a play on the imagination.
Yeah.
Because I think as a kid we had the imagination. We had the opportunity to imagine, right?
Yeah.
We had the opportunity because we weren't inundated with 24 hours of television,
Right.
video at your fingertips, contact with people at a moment's notice. I mean,
Right.
we had none of that stuff. So you had to go out and get it. And you wanted
And
you look
imagine
at
it.
pictures and you imagine. You look at
Yeah,
a picture
yeah.
from World War II and you imagine it. Now they could put it on a screen.
60-foot screen and
And you're looking at
Yeah.
it going, holy cow, that's graphic.
yeah, right.
And still, if I was younger and I had seen that, it would have probably evoked a whole lot of different emotions in me, right?
Right, right.
Nausea, whatever it is. Haven't seen it, never seen something like that before. And now I'm seeing this graphic guy's head's probably getting blown off or he's crashing in and dying. I think that the kids nowadays, they don't have the opportunity to be innocent, right?
Oh, they're playing
Movies
video.
just desensitize
That
everything.
and video games are running around shooting people, right? So
I don't
it
even
takes away
mind that. I had games. I had
Sure.
Atari
But how
2600,
graphic-
man.
Yeah, but-
beep, beep, beep. You're shooting little
Yeah, but how
planes.
graphic was that? How realistic was that?
So it wasn't realistic enough, right? It wasn't
Right.
when we were kids. The graphics weren't as advanced as they are now.
Right. It's not the shooting part. It's how well the graphics are. It's amazing because it's like, you're watching you're controlling it's like a TV. The graphics are so
It's almost
amazing.
real life.
But it's like going back to what you're saying. It desensitizes you,
Yeah.
and it takes away your imagination.
I watch my kids. They play these Call of Duties, Modern Warfare.
Yeah.
And I went down there. I was watching my son play one of his games. I'm like, holy cow! It looks like fun. All right,
Sure.
take all that aside. I love gaming. Gaming's a big thing. Video games. I grew up on video games, so it's fun.
Yeah.
And I grew up from Atari 2600 to, some
Wii,
early, the whole thing. You go through
yeah.
the whole process, the evolution, ColecoVisions, and Sony,
ColecoVision.
PlayStation, Genesis, Sega.
Remember Sonic the Hedgehog?
Yeah.
Sega?
The little blue thing running around, grabbing some bing, 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 bing,
rolling along.
That was like the extent of you got to face the bad guy. You got to take out the bad guy at the end, like the level king or whatever.
Yeah, and you're jumping, and every time you hit him, it glows.
He glows or whatever. That's like, wow, look at me, I'm kicking his ass. Now they're my son's sneaking up on a guy. He's like in sneak mode, right? And you see these two hands, and he's like this, and then suddenly there's a knife, and he's cutting the guy's throat. I'm like, oh my god, what the hell is that?
And you got, it's just amazing how far and where it's going with that. Now it's like with the goggles and all that. You see that?
Oh, the Oculus, like the 3D.
Yeah, you see like the rooms
moment
that you can go in now?
Yeah.
Like they're making so that like this warehouse or the warehouse that you were talking about earlier was just a structure. Mm-hmm. They'll take that. They'll make the whole thing, if you look at it with just your eyes, it's empty.
Okay.
But then and it has like railing in it and stuff to keep you going in this wherever direction
So
the game is.
it geo-targets you, like it knows where you are in
so
that.
you put the goggles on and you have gloves.
Okay.
So now in your goggles, it's this huge area, and like you walk
Get
around.
Out of here, really? I've
then-
never seen these places.
Yeah, and then they do like air conditioning and like fans will blow on you, so like heat, like so if the thing's like throwing,
If there's a flame, it'll be hot. You'll feel the
it'll
heat.
blow hot air on you. It's fucking crazy. YouTube that, dude.
I'm going to do that. Now that's my thing to learn about. Now that's going to be my thing. I'm gonna
Check
figure
that out, dude. Crazy.
That sounds amazing.
Yeah, I would do that in a heartbeat.
It sounds cool.
Right?
It really does.
And then they have like railings, so like because you physically walk,
right.
and it'll push you, push you around, and so you can stay within it.
Right.
But yeah, YouTube that.
I've seen the 3D world. You can take your phone and I don't
put it in the goggles.
Put it
and
in
do
the
that?
goggles, and you can look around. It's actually pretty good. It's not.
It's getting better, right?
It is, and one of my favorite things to do is do a roller coaster. Right, sit in a chair, put this thing on your head, and they have these 3D roller coasters you get on.
Does it feel like you're?
And you realize like you're sitting there, and then suddenly you start drifting side to side, forward, backwards,
awesome, dude.
Because as soon as you go over the cliff, you're like your body reacts to the experience that you had, right? And I find myself like, wow, I'm moving with this roller coaster. You just get lost in the moment. You get lost in that world.
That's awesome.
It is.
Escapism, right?
It is. It
Right?
is. It's a form of it, right? I think
Yeah.
everybody needs a little bit of that.
Sure.
Got to decompress.
Now, going back, is that desensitizing you to other things in the world? Like, now, how is that going to make you feel when you get on a real roller coaster?
I don't know. I got to try it. I haven't been on a roller coaster in a long time. I
last year
find
we
as I
did.
get older, I can do less of those things. I don't know if it makes sense, but
Yeah, I don't think your body can take the G forces.
I don't even think it's a G-force. It's the I don't know. I don't even know how to explain it, but I don't get the same rush I did when I was younger. There was an adrenaline rush there. There was a
Sure.
moment of I've never been through this before. Now it's more of like pure terror. If that makes sense. You go to the top of a roller coaster and drop off the edge like, now I know, I understand I could die. This is bringing me closer to that moment.
Yeah.
And it's good for a little bit, but the last time I did it, I guess I had gone to the family, I think with Hershey Park. That's probably the last time I rode a real roller coaster, a real series of roller coasters. And it was towards the end of the day, there's this thing, I guess it's like called a mousetrap. It's like a cube.
Okay.
And the cart rolls along and then suddenly does like a 90-degree turn and goes down.
See,
and
that
goes
does
up.
not. Yeah.
And it's kind of a really odd, and you're just constantly jerking back and forth
Right,
and down
right.
and up. And I got off that thing and I was like, God, I don't feel very good right now. I just bouncing around. My back hurts. Everything hurts. And I'm like, this can't be. This
can't be fun.
This can't be
right?
fun anymore.
So
Not for a guy my age, I guess.
yeah. My that happened to me last year. My wife and I like to do the mud runs. So
Oh,
once
yeah.
those It's an adult playground.
The fire department comes out and hoses everything down, right? They make big mud pits. Is that what you're talking about?
No,
the big...
it's like the Spartan race or the.
Oh, the Spartan. Yeah,
Like
my
that.
son does that.
Those are amazingly fun, dude. They're so.
I don't know
much
how
fun.
people get through it.
Oh,
I watched. My son, my wife's sister did that, and they were getting all these big medals. Like you do the Spartan race, you get these pieces of the metal, and you build your medal up.
Oh, see, I've never done a Spartan race.
Oh,
what we
okay.
do, it's called Rugged Maniac, and it's because there's so many of these things now.
Okay.
It's a huge industry.
Yeah.
And what we found out, we've done a handful of different ones,
Okay.
and we like the Rugged Maniac one.
Okay.
It's kind of like in between. It's pretty tough, but you can like take your time doing it.
You can walk it if you want to, right?
Yeah.
You don't
Now,
have to run and
Well, the thing
sprint
is-
from thing to thing. It's not. Is it a timed event?
Well, you can.
Oh,
okay.
okay.
So the issue that we found out the first year was because, like, my wife and I, it's a 5K.
Okay.
Right, with 28 obstacles.
Oh,
So
5K alone, you've lost me.
okay, so my wife and I could run a 5K, no problem.
Oh, okay,
right?
good for you. Man. That's awesome.
But the issue that you run into is there's so many people, and they try to do a really good job of like staging and people going through,
Okay.
but you can't run to each obstacle because everybody piles up at the obstacle. Right, so you might as well just walk to each obstacle.
Okay.
Because you're gonna get to the obstacle and you're gonna wait.
Yeah.
Right.
Gonna wait your turn.
Gonna wait your turn.
Yeah.
And they're fun obstacles. They do a good job, and it's kind of the middle ground of, like, it's not a Spartan race where it's like so fucking hard and all. I don't give a shit.
So
about it. I don't
is this
care
a
about
crazy thing? So the first thing that's coming to mind right now is, you ever watch Stripes? There's Bill
Yeah.
Murray Stripes,
it. Basically, that's
where
what
they're
it is.
in training camp and the guys are running down the hill. Ah! They're screaming.
Basically.
And they hit the wood and the guy falls and cracks him right in the net. and
Yep,
he rolls
yep.
it.
Well, it's
that's
like-
what I'm seeing. Is
it's
like all these
basic-
people
Yeah.
running and screaming.
Yep, and it's fun.
Yeah.
And Rugged Maniac makes it a party.
Okay.
Right, and they're not like we're hardcore.
yeah.
It's not that. It's
Okay.
hey, come have a good time. People run it in tutus and costumes and all that shit, right?
That's great.
But it's your standard obstacles through tubes and puddles and under barbed wire and climb
Yeah.
up and do all that, and just we have a really good time.
That's cool.
Right? So last year we're done at like it only takes you 40, not even 40 minutes.
You're in,
to
you're
do
out.
it.
Yeah.
You know. It's like 9:30 in the morning. I'm like, what do you want to do now? And my wife was like, well, Six Flags is not far from here. And I was like, okay, let's go ride roller coasters.
There you go.
And there's a couple of them that I got off, going to what you were saying, got off, and I'm like, that just didn't feel good.
Didn't
that
feel-
just, I'm like, I'm. But
I'd
there was some.
done Six Flags as a kid.
Mm-hmm.
It was like every month I was going down there with friends.
and riding them one after the other.
I mean, you would get on Rolling Thunder over and
And
over.
over.
If there wasn't a line, you just kept going around and around and around and
Yeah,
around.
yeah.
You'd ride it all the time. I think Superman was one of the
I didn't
last
like
ones
that
I
one.
rode.
I didn't like that one.
At Six Flags. I didn't like it. I liked I guess it was the Batman or the Joker, where you're suspended and you're underneath it. So when you go around the corner,
That was cool.
That
Because
was
your feet are dangling.
Your feet are dangling.
Yeah, that one was. There's
think that was
another
so bad.
one like Nitro or something.
Okay.
That was similar to that. Fucking awesome.
Yeah.
That was it. I really enjoyed that. It was really smooth and fast, and it was. We
So
enjoyed
truth
that.
be told, my favorite ride there is the Buccaneer. That
Buccaneer,
stupid the boat that rocks
Yeah,
back
yeah,
and
the
forth. You
pirate
get up
boat.
on and you
Yeah,
just
yeah.
rock it back and forth
So-
and back and forth.
My wife likes the swings,
Okay.
right? So the ones on the chain, and it just.
Oh
lifts
yeah,
up
and it
they
lifts up
spin
and then it
around.
spins you around.
Right.
I can't. No.
No, so I get on it right with her. I'm thinking, the one at Six Flags goes fucking. Dude.
You go up. I mean, you're a couple hundred feet off the ground.
I was like scared.
Yeah.
I was straight up. I was like, this is not fun. No, I'm,
You know
I'm
what?
not having fun.
You know what puts the fear of God in me is when I'm in the chair and I look at the chain.
I'm thinking I could end up in the fucking parking lot.
My weight, I could bust this fucking chain as soon as
I could
gravity.
end up in the parking
Yeah,
lot.
it's gonna fling you out. It's gonna whip you around. You're gonna go. Fling.
Yep. And you're hauling ass, dude.
Oh, yeah.
You're hauling. Yeah,
That thing
that one
flies.
was. But we ended up closing the park down.
Did
So
you
we
now?
ended up
Yeah,
at
nice.
like 11 o'clock in the morning. We ended up over there. And next thing you know, they're like, yeah, we're done. And I'm like, what?
Got to get out.
We had a good time. That was a lot of fun. But some of those roller coasters, I'm like, no, I'm never doing that one again.
Yeah, I just get these feelings when I get off them, and I don't know. I enjoy them, but there just comes a point where you're like, yeah, you're probably better off staying on the ground.
Yeah,
and watching.
I'm good. Do you have a good time?
This is a spectator's activity for me now. I'm gonna go get a corn dog over here.
Yeah, I'll meet you over here.
I'll meet you at the
Can I
end of
get
the
you
line.
something while you're so you don't have to wait?
Yeah, I think you get older, you just kind of, I don't know. Some things that I enjoyed as a kid, I enjoy different things as I get older.
Absolutely. Yeah, but that's through the growth and experiences.
Gotta.
Dude,
I always like driving fast, though. Fast. never gets old.
I love going
driving
fast.
Oh, my God.
Acceleration is my thing.
Love it.
Oh,
There's nothing like it. My mom says I got a lead foot. She says I've always had a lead foot. I like to go fast.
I love going fast.
There's something about it.
Anything. Motorcycles, snowboarding, cars, didn't matter. If we're going fast, I'm happy.
It's good.
Yeah.
And it's kind of a weird thing because I can drive fast. I can't do these fucking roller coasters. I could go fast. I can get on 80, and if I could open up my car, I would. I would floor
Is it a control thing? Like if you're on a
could be.
Yeah, because in your car you're under control. In a roller coaster,
well, at least you think you're in control. You hope you're in control.
What my mom used to growing up with. Sorry, with all our quote unquote toys, dirt bikes and all that. She would say, as soon as you think you have control over it, get off because it'll kill you. You never have control of that shit.
No.
People are like, I control this. No, you don't.
Yeah.
No.
Momentum's got control.
Yeah. No. Momentum.
and then sudden. What does my friend Billy say? It's not the
speed that kills you.
That's the speed that kills you. It's the sudden stop.
Yeah. Kinetic energy's got to go somewhere, right?
Yeah.
That's awesome, dude. Holy cow, man. We've been at a couple hours, man.
Are we really? Are you kidding me?
8 o'clock.
Holy cow.
I got a little timer. I don't know what these numbers at the top of my, I use GarageBand and I have these numbers up here. I got to figure it out.
Okay. But
just through experience doing this, I know that when we get to like 3,500, whatever that number is.
You're running out of hard drive space?
No, yeah, right? It's like, oh, shit. It's, I can tell, okay, at this I'm at an hour, at this I'm an hour and a half. Yep. And what I like about the format of this, there's no time, right? Yeah. But also got a kind of listening pleasure. We could go on here. I don't know if anybody listened to us for 6 hours, right?
Exactly.
So I like
we got to do radio talk, so you're like, okay, we got to stop because we got to take a commercial break. And it forces the conversation to stop, and then you pick it up a little bit. We got to play a couple songs and
move it on. Yeah. And that's what I like about the podcast format, platform, and all that. Is it's completely free speech, right? There's nothing governing your speech.
Not really.
You can talk about anything you want, and then you can be at any length you want.
Yeah.
I have episodes that range anywhere from 25 minutes to 3 hours and 40 minutes.
I think the good thing is if you're stuck in a car for a long time, and you love hearing people have a conversation, podcasts are perfect.
And that's what I do. I'm on the road a lot.
You forget that you're on the road. You forget you're stuck in traffic. Forget I got to go 2 hours on a drive. Somebody's probably finishing up this, and hopefully they made it to the end of it, and they're going, holy cow, here I am. Conversation was great.
Man, that didn't take long.
Didn't take long at all.
Yeah.
Here I am.
We covered some shit, though.
We did. That's cool.
I appreciate it, man. This has been a long time coming. Our schedules are a little crazy.
We talk about this for a long time.
Yeah. Yeah, we were talking about this before I even started the project.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true.
I was telling you I was going to do it, and then...
Yeah, it was your dream then. Yep. Now you're doing it.
Yeah.
See? Look at this.
Yeah. And I got over 20 episodes.
Together. Wow. That's awesome, man. I congratulate you.
Thanks,
this
man.
is a huge step.
Thanks, man. Yeah, and it's a hobby. It's fun, man.
Yeah, but you're enjoying it. Yeah. It's a good conversation, too. It's I think it's very healthy. Conversation, you can't...
Well, human conversation, like this.
Just having a conversation, just talking. Two people talking for a couple hours. I feel better. My body feels better. My back hurts a little bit from sitting for a couple hours. I'm not used to that.
And hunched over on the mic.
Hunched over on the mic the whole time. But
I could tell you're back here because you kept going like this. I'm like, get closer. You're like, okay. And now my back started to hurt. I'll move
exactly. I got a bad back to begin with, but I feel good. It's nice to be able to end a day with a conversation.
Yeah, I love good conversation.
And I wish my kids would know this kind of pleasure. I try to talk to them as much as I can, but
they're like,
oh, come on, Dad. Come on, Dad. Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
All right, brother. Thanks,
All right,
man.
Hey, you're welcome. My pleasure, man. Thanks for having me.
Yep. Hey, everybody. Thanks for listening, and I hope you enjoyed that as much as I did. Chuck's website is in the show notes. Check him out. Go out and support if you can. Great place. And he loves to have a conversation, as you can see. Check my stuff out at WKT Podcast on Instagram, Walt's Kitchen Table on Facebook, and my new website that I made all by myself. Hold on. That's me patting myself on the back. Walt'sKitchenTable.com. And again, always up for good conversation. And yes, I can't stress it enough. You have lots of things to talk about. As you can see on these episodes, we don't have any agenda whatsoever. Hit me up. Much love.